Markets trying to bounce back here a little bit this morning as we get started. What a day it was yesterday. That's the NASDAQ currently back in positive territory only just right now. There are individual names moving around a little bit more substantially. 0.8 right now for Tesla. You can see already well off the highs. What a day it was right into the aftermarket. That selling kept going into the aftermarket. Cathie Wood picking up Tesla yesterday. Cathie Wood also picking up Robinhood yesterday. What a day Robinhood shares had as well. Back below $35 after the close. We're bouncing back here to the tune of about 1.6% ahead of some inflation data to come this week. Remember, and ahead of non-farm payrolls coming up at the end of the week on Friday as well. What a look for the overall market here as we get into a point where there's going to be buyers testing the waters at some point, not only in the overall market, but also in these individual names, as we saw with Cathie Wood. I mean, Chinese names are just exploding at this point. And I'm just having a look at some gappers right now. Xpeng actually at the top of my list this morning, 9.5%.
Yeah, Citi giving the Asian markets a nod, Brendo, saying that they see kind of American exceptionalism as dwindling down and the stimulus coming into China really helping boost. You already have K-Web here up over almost 3%, 2.9% to start the morning. So we'll keep an eye on that. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. As you mentioned, Tesla in focus. Oracle reported worse than expected. Bitcoin trying to bounce. Apple releasing what is said to be one of the major update since 2013 for their iOS operating system. And Brendo, these airlines are in focus, and they're a bit of a tale of two stories here. You got the likes of United and Delta down, and Southwest up over almost 10% here on the news that they're going to add luggage.
Yeah,
fees.
and what was it, a basic economy? So there's economy and then there's basic economy. So you can't even have anything. As you said, you're going to have to pay for bags at this point. Sure. It's just they're charging for absolutely everything. But there are a few individual small caps on the move this morning as well. I want to mention, saw a couple of people talking about that SNOA, up better part of 50%, TNON, another one 36%. So all over the place. Crypto as well, back to the upside here this morning, 3.3% for IBIT, back above 46 bucks. This got absolutely killed yesterday as well, even after the close, getting that extra little selling pressure coming in. Right before the data turned off at the end of the day yesterday. Will it hold? Guys, that's the question. Good morning.
Oh. Good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Okay.
Like I'm a little sad because I thought that the market did have a chance. We had talked about this last night after hours. We had right. Sort of talked that maybe the market had a good chance to rebound here today. And honestly, like this move just fell off a cliff there. Yeah. We got back to VWAP and fell off a cliff again. So I don't know. Yesterday, you guys know I bought some JP Morgan, I bought some S&P, and then that's about it. Walmart still hitting the sell side. Costco to the downside there today. Let me check out what's going on with JP Morgan. Still, I mean, roughly at the same price as we had yesterday at the close. Right now, we're actually long into this name as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm doing fine. I wrote down here Apple for a potential long. I know that's going against everything. Yeah. But if we're going to look at something, maybe that. My number one and two stocks yesterday were both longs. We had Nvidia off the bottom. We had Palantir off that key 78, 79 level. But Robinhood continuation. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you very much, Randy.
This is mine from yesterday, I guess.
This is also mine from yesterday.
I think we'll have this one. Yeah, yesterday just looked a little bit too. Yeah, your Tesla is getting hit every day. So we'll have to wait to see what's happening there. We'll have to wait to see what's happening. You know which name we didn't look at yesterday was Rivian? Yeah, that's $11. So I don't know. I get a feeling that didn't have too bad of a day yesterday, did it? No. Yeah, not really. Yeah, so Rivian just kind of hovering around here. That bottom of 10 coming into play. I mean, that might not be a bad buy. Like the vehicle for sure. I don't know if I was saying, like, people aren't going to be buying Teslas for a minute, man. I mean, he's going to have to change that reputation around ASAP. Yeah. And then Costco, COST. I went there for my, they can't. It's going to take them 3 or 4 days to get the tires in for that size.
I know a guy.
Yeah, I know, you know lots of guys. Yeah. The tire situation is going to get figured out, no problem. But even Costco, again, you don't see this down too much. This down 15% from highs coming into the 200 period. I mean, the last time we even saw anything like this was a while ago. And then our Starbucks call on the short seems to have been really starting to print now. As that's getting into $100, maybe that's a long at some point. IBIT, Brendo brought that up to our attention. And I mean, wow, what a day that had yesterday. And today, nicely back up to the upside. But again, just gets me the feels that we're going right back down. I mean, this is pretty bad, right? Like IBIT just 2-3 weeks ago was $60. Yep. We touched 44 yesterday. But this is the one name, like, for example, crypto not at its 200 period yet for IBIT anyways. But we have more than 200 days here since its inception, right? Yeah, it's January of 19, yeah. So January of 24. But yeah, so again, you know, maybe there's a bouncing spot there technically at $44 for IBIT. I think we'll write that one down in case we get down into there, but that's 5% off of this, right? So that gets us into where we were yesterday, 76, 77,000 overnight. So yeah, man.
Yeah. I think
I have to write TQs on here though.
Right.
You know, the futures are going to be a play today. One more.
19.5. I mean, it feels like just yesterday we were at 20,000. Wait, we were at 20,000 just yesterday. But no,
yeah,
it's.
I don't know if we'll get that today.
I think Brendo asks a good question there. Will it hold? Brendo, I think the only thing that's really holding are the sellers. I think they continue to be in charge. A lot of these names continue to kind of sell off here. I'm going to be watching some interesting earnings names here. We were talking about Kohl's.
Yeah, wow.
Kohl's, again, it kind of moved around during the meme craze as well, KSS, but KSS is trading at a pre-market low right now of 980, currently at 1040. But yeah, we were saying that these prices Kohl's hasn't seen since 1996. So selling definitely coming in. A lot of these names that have been already kind of weak. Getting even weaker on catalysts like earnings as well. There's a couple of gap downs here. I think Asana as well. Gapping down. So yeah, let's see if sellers kind of continue to stay strong in some of these tickers that have been beaten down even more with their earnings. But yeah, market tailwind will definitely be dependent. And yeah, I'm gonna look for more of the same, like we said earlier. If nothing really comes out suggesting that okay, now buyers are back in charge, then I think I'm just gonna continue to expect more of the same and try to sell with the selling. So. That's going to be my look for
one
today.
of the only tech names that Adair had mentioned earlier this morning to us was that Meta was getting close. Yeah, it is. Meta's getting close to its tipping point on the year. Most tech names are through its year positivity. What was I saying? Going red on the year. So there's Meta right here. January right into here. December 31st, 585. So we are $10 away from this name going red on the year. Not too many green names this year, as we've talked about, especially in the Mag 7. I heard Jim Cramer last night, not that anybody follows him anymore, but he has abolished the Mag 7 because they're no longer magnificent.
Really?
Well, it makes sense, right? I mean, how could you call Nvidia's down 30%? Tesla obviously can't be part of the Mag 7, right? Amazon's from 240 down to 190. Like almost in a straight line. There's some crazy destruction. Like you don't even really want to look at chart. When you look at the charts, you realize how bad it's been. But you know what? We'll have Jolts job opening coming at 10 o'clock there. There's some green shoots there. We talked about the airlines. Crypto today I think is a green shoot as well. So that's going to be nice. And then you know I do wonder. Yesterday we saw AMD really get going early and then get faded. So I think if there's some momentum in the market. That was another name, Brendan, that Kathy Wood bought last night was AMD, Palantir, Robinhood, and one more big one that we all always trade. But anyway, some of these beat up names yesterday bought by ARK K. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening in this market. Oil, you mentioned energy. Two of the green sectors yesterday, energy was up and utilities were up as a little bit of chase for yield yesterday. I mean, the thing is that normally you have traps for yield, but the problem is right now the prices are so low. Like XOM is not a trap. Like you can get in there, get that 3%, and you do have a decent price that you're buying at as well. So we'll wait to see what happens.
I had XOM on watch for just a technical breakout on the chart. But yeah, you mentioned the Mag 7. I have the ETF open here, the Mags ETF. But yeah, a little bit of what seems like it's been trending to the upside. But that trend, the range of that trend has definitely been expanding. But you can see here again, just by kind of drawing a simple trend line, that we're still within kind of that trend here. We did slow down here, but again, still above support technically here on the Mags ETF.
January 1st.
On
Jan 1st.
Jan 1st is of this year, right?
Yeah.
Jan 1st is right here. So
right. So look how far down we are.
From there.
Right. This is Mag 7.
Yeah. This is
there
Mag
you go. Right.
So it's about 20% down.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, 20% down with Meta still being green.
I say we can definitely come into. Let's see what happens if and when it comes into this support, this trend support here. So that's the question I'll be asking on the day today. But yeah, definitely heavily sold off. I can understand why people are jumping off the Mag 7 bandwagon.
Not a bridge.
I mean,
or buildings. Not
you got to
yet.
buy the dip.
We're not at that point yet. We still wait for Fed Powell coming soon, and we wait for the guys over at the desk.
Yeah, it was 79,318 shares of Tesla Kathy Wood put in her pocket at the end of the day yesterday. So she parked it in her pocket. Here's Robinhood, and this chart getting quite ugly. Another one. A friend of mine actually messaged me this morning, I saw, and said, I'm thinking about buying Robinhood. I was like, it's a tough game to win at, though, Sean, trying to pick bottoms and buy stocks when they're going down and not up. So fair warning to anyone. But yeah, like that's a crazy move off the highs here. $65 down to $35 for Robinhood.
That looks like a good area of technical support there, Brenda. I wonder if we're going to bounce off there.
I feel like we're almost through it.
Yeah,
like it's
close.
Yeah, like this you're talking about over here kind of thing. I mean, this one maybe, yeah, still trying to hold there, 35.50. But yeah, what a move down for Robinhood. The guys mentioned this one as well. Kohl's out this morning trying to bounce off $10 here for KSS. We sat here yesterday talking about McDonald's and the retail side of things, maybe a little bit stronger than the rest. This one definitely not.
This was really ugly, Brenda. Reported 95 cents EPS. That was exceeding the street's expectations. They were looking for 73. Revenue came in at 5.18 billion. That met estimates there. The gross margins did improve 32.9%. That slightly beat expectations. Operating income missed, but this is where it all falls apart. The 2025 weak outlook, EPS forecast, they're forecasting 10 to 60 pennies. That's far, far below what the street was looking for. They're looking for $1.32. Net sales also expected to decline 5 to 7% on the year. Comparable sales, Brendo, down 4 to 6. The street was expecting 0.9% decline. And operating margins continue to get squeezed as well. So a bit of a tougher look for them. But I want to say that Kathy Wood was out buying a storm yesterday. A lot of activity here, Brendo. She picked up some Tesla, Palantir, Coinbase, AMD, Tempest, Robinhood, as you mentioned, and she sold Block and UiPath. Yeah,
I mean, have a plan. If you're going to start, dipping your toe in, have a plan as far as stocks go down a lot faster than they go up typically. So another one here this morning on the earnings front, ASAN. Asana, downside as well, 25% downside. This thing all the way back to $12. Just sitting here this morning. We'll touch on that coming up. I think I mentioned to start non-farm payrolls Friday. That was obviously last week. It's CPI tomorrow, PPI Thursday, and then Michigan sentiment coming up on Friday. So 3 days in a row here, we'll get significant economic data, guys.
Yeah, maybe that's what the market's waiting for. A bunch of economic numbers to kind of give people some confidence.
Yeah, that would give you confidence?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that gives me confidence, Sean, is price action.
Right, exactly, and I think that's going to be king, right? I mean, we saw that number come out good on Friday. We thought was good, and then it went all the way to the upside, and then just got hit the rest of the day. I think CPI and PPI are going to be absolutely huge this time around. It's like the first time I've been really excited about it in a minute. Yeah. I just feel that, that's sort of that next tipping point, right, is the consumer. So we're going to have to wait to see. I mean, all these retail names, we've seen Costco down. We just did KSS. We've seen Walmart get hit to the downside now. So let's wait to see what happens with inflation. I mean, if prices start to go up and the consumer is already weak and some of these companies are already, as Sharif just mentioned, poor guides, moving forward. Well, what's going to happen if all of a sudden prices of their products naturally go up when there's nothing they can do about it, you know? And I think that that's just going to be a problem. So I'm going to wait. I really, really do hope that it comes in line or a little bit cooler than expected. I don't want to see it hotter, being higher. So like imagine CPI comes in, I'm not even sure what's expected, but a little bit higher than expected. Yeah. I think this market gets absolutely crushed. I mean, we have to remember too, we're supposed to be in a rate cut cycle. Right. So I still feel pretty confident that we're not going to be increasing interest rates. But then again, you know what happens when inflation gets out of control? It means that the Fed switches and goes into the rate hike feels. We'll call up the CME Fed rate tool throughout the show and talk about that because its next meeting is the 19th, which is going to be next Wednesday, I believe, or Thursday, and next Wednesday, and it's expected no movement. Right. So we'll hear what they're looking at, what the numbers were like, if it was a sweep on that or not. But and then we're going to have to wait because Donald Trump doesn't even seem to be acknowledging the stock market really anymore. So it used to be first term president. He was all about the Dow. What's that?
He's trying to run a country.
Right. First term, it was all about the economy. This term, it's all about getting America right again and making sure that they are not getting ripped off, of course, with their trade deals. But the prices are at rip-off prices right now in the market, and maybe it is a good time to buy, which is why we have been buying. Okay, it's your options minute with Joe.
Let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. We got a lot of talk in the Mag 7 this morning, and I want to refer to it a little bit more because there's some key players in the Magnificent 7 that I want to hyper-focus on. If we can pull up my chart here, you can see that I have the king of kings here, and that's Apple. So why am I looking at Apple, and who am I going to look alongside with it? Well, that's going to be Google. Well, why am I looking at them as a pair? Well, we know that Google in 2022 paid $22 billion to Apple to be the primary search engine. Now, with the DOJ making Google divest from its search engine, this can really, really hurt Apple stock. Well, why? Because it was about a quarter, that $22 billion was a quarter of its service revenue. And so what happens when we divest? Well, now we have to break it up and make the playing field a little bit more equal. So how does that lead us to options, okay? So what the game plan is you can see that on Apple, we're down about 12% from those highs, which is not a good look, and Google being more. So how do we take advantage of these trades and allow theta to work in our favor and sticking to this current primary trend, which would be to the downside? Well, we can construct a net credit trade. And with these net credit trades, what it allows us to do is to have time work in our favor. And what we want to do here is construct a net credit trade. So I want us to focus on a couple things here. It's going to be the credit received, the expiration cycle, the max loss, and most importantly, the probability of profit, okay? So what we want to focus on here right now is the probability of profit and our risk to reward ratio. So we can see here that we have a max loss of $1,257 and a max return of $237. Well, you can say, well, Joe, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I risk $1,200 to make $237? Well, what you need to take into consideration here is our POP, the probability of profit, okay? So what we are establishing here, and the trade thesis is that by April 11th, we do not believe that Apple is going to close above $245. Well, you can see that we're trading around $225 right now, but we also have a probability of profit of 77%. What we can do here as well is always set a stop loss at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So therefore, we can never exceed that max loss of $237, nor will we touch anywhere close to the max loss of $1,257, okay? So that's why you want to put your risk to reward at a 1-to-1 when you have high probability of profit setups. Now, this is on Apple. Let's take a look at Google real quick. The same thesis. So what we want to look at here with Google is that we are now constructing a trade based saying that we do not believe that we are going to exceed $185 by April 4th. This will put a net credit of $1.11, so $111. But one thing that we also want to focus on here, guys, is the probability of profit. It's the same thesis. We're not going to risk the max loss. We're only going to risk our max return. And that's why constructing these credit spreads during times like these can be highly profitable trades because, one, we're in heightened volatility with the VIX touching into 30 yesterday. So now we're going to collect more premium. But we also have the ability to hedge by constructing net credit trades. Now, if we want to look at it from a technical standpoint, what we have here on Google is that we don't believe that we're going to exceed $185, which would put us above this shelf right here. So as long as Google does not go to 185 by April 4th, we're going to be able to collect the full premium received. And by the looks of it, from a technical standpoint, guys, this is a really good trade, and especially due to the probability of profit at 85%.
Okay.
All right, yeah, Google v. Apple right there. And I think that's good. I mean, it's about risk and reward, right? It's about figuring that out. He mentioned that 85% number there. I think Google has a chance to get back up there if things do change, but at the same time, if you are looking short, that would be a great idea to put on there. I like to talk about Chrome and trying to figure that out, matching that with Apple and Google, I think makes a lot of sense there as well. Google been hit, Apple still only down 13%. That's actually one of the stronger ones, being down 13%. You did that Mag 7 drop down and it was 20 or so percent for them as a group. So thanks, Joe. I mean, adding that to our viewers and getting a quick look at some possible option plays that you can put on, always interesting. So thanks, Joe, for that one. There we go. People in the chat loving that. So I like it. It's I've never put on a trade similar to that. So yeah, interesting to hear. You trade any options at all?
I haven't really touched options as much after coming to the floor. I think I mentioned this. I kind of just started just holding on to stocks a little bit more,
right, nice,
and instead of being more active in my personal account
dude.
after. But no, I really like the point that Joe made of high probability one-to-ones. Right, that's like, I feel like that's just like even in the equities market, not just the options market. Like I'm always looking for those high probability one-to-ones because over time I think they can give you positive results. Right, the more if you take high probability one-to-ones, even if you lose often, because of their probability, it's going to put you over the top. Right?
Yeah, the odds should be more in your favor. I mean, I think we've always talked about, you said, you know, holding on to things for a little bit longer. We know investing is not rocket science. It's trying to pick the best names, trying to absorb moves like this in the market, and understand what your time frames are, right? And that's why Joe mentioned there, April. You know, can the stock get back at a certain date? That's the thing about options, you know. They do have that end value, and it's nothing if it expires, you know, under a certain value. So that's why it's important to talk about, you know, the hedge and looking at different opportunities there. So, yeah, man, I'm thinking another down day. I mean, people in the chat are, I'm just, that's what I was working on there. Just taking note to be out in just a couple seconds. I'm not feeling good about it, man. I thought that today could have been a rebound day there, just ahead of some of the numbers later on this week. It doesn't look like we're getting to that spot. But oil, again, could be something to play off today. Alibaba, some of the Chinese names. Yeah,
I was telling Sean this morning.
There's some green shoots.
Our fruit salad looks like the market has been for the past couple of days. There's a lot of red in here. There's strawberries, raspberries, red grapes. There's a couple of green grapes, so maybe that's like the couple of sectors that might be green.
That's what I'm looking for.
I'm gonna look at this bowl for some forecast.
I said that to Rob yesterday. I was like, wow, there's tons of strawberries in this. Like, I don't know, man. Is there no tariffs on strawberries around here? I'm not sure, but that was a good one, man. Costco, really like that stock, really high value name again, but getting hit on PE. So, all right, hey. You know what? Maybe we can trade something on the green side with an upgrade and downgrade. So let's go find out from Adara what's moving around.
There's actually a lot of really interesting upgrades on here today, Sean. Unity here, the second name on this list with an upgrade from Citigroup, actually up quite a bit with decent volume pre-market. Spotify also getting an upgrade here from Redbird Atlantic with a $545 price target. on holdings here. They had earnings, I believe, last week, getting an upgrade today from HSBC Securities, and Capital One Financial getting an upgrade from Robert W. Baird. On the downgrade side of things, we're kicking it off with Lennar getting downgraded by Keefe Bruyette, Freshpet with a downgrade from Oppenheimer, Sage Therapeutics being downgraded here by BofA Securities, and last but not least, Franco-Nevada getting downgraded by TD this morning, guys. Lots of interesting names here.
Yeah, definitely some interesting names there. But yeah, an upgrade on Spotify. I don't know how much that's going to really help this one out. We cracked that 500 price yesterday here on Spotify. Let's go to a higher time frame. It's going to go to an hourly here and take a look at this one. Kind of back from its former glory up here at $652.99 there post earnings. So the prior earnings that we had on February 4th, just earlier last month, we got a pretty strong move. But look at that, we've pretty much given it all back and more here on Spotify. So I got a bit of an anchored here, but that's from a prior earnings. We've already broken back through it here. But yeah, let's see. Maybe the market catches a bid, but with a bit of an upgrade, let's see if we can get through that 500. I think that 500 could be a little bit of an interesting price level, but bigger picture trend, since that post-earnings kind of trend break and consolidation break, we couldn't really hold above the 620 shelf. We break back down. 500 doesn't necessarily seem to be too strong of a level, but prior resistance could not turn into support. So yeah, going to be watching this one here maybe today as well, but $500 ticker might be a little spready for me.
Well, I was going to say that was actually the town that I want to do, and that was looking for names that are potentially. Thank you so much, Randy. Oh, but you need it.
I'm good. I got my coffee.
You're always pretty good over there. You a Spotify guy, Randy, or an Apple Music or Apple Music? Yeah, same as me now too. I can't really find the difference, but Spotify right here was such a darling of a stock for a very, very long time. Just kept on beating, kept on hitting higher. I think this name also has a great opportunity to pick something up on the cheap. If you ever get anywhere near this $400, I mean, people don't cancel, although Randy did. People don't really cancel their Spotify subscriptions. Yeah. Oh, what is your reason? Okay, here we go.
So, yeah, I was Spotify for a long time, and then I found out that Apple Music has a thing called iTunes Match.
Okay,
so if you're a vinyl or a cassette guy,
right,
you can take all the records that you have and put them into, digitally, onto your Mac.
Right.
And put them into your library. And I have, hundreds and hundreds of tracks that Apple doesn't have, that Spotify doesn't have.
Right, because you put them from your
and they don't have the copyright or the license to distribute the music. So I have lots of music in my library. I can listen to my vinyl in my car, which I love that feature. And you can't find these albums or these individual tracks, singles on live albums, live DJ recordings. They don't have them online. Spotify,
that's
nobody
cool.
has them.
How do you upload them to the Mac? That's really
so
interesting.
I've got a turntable with a USB output on it.
Okay.
And it does it in FLAC, and then it converts it to iTunes AAC, and it's fantastic. So I've been an iTunes guy since then because, again, I just put my entire library of vinyl in my phone.
That's okay. Well, that's a pretty cool reason there. Yeah. So, all right. Thanks, Randy, for that one. Yeah. Look. That's what I was saying about these subscription-based businesses, and I just think Amazon's getting hit a lot, obviously, and we talk about people subscribing to Prime and all that, but Apple does have
Amazon Music,
that service revenue as well. Amazon does have music.
Yeah, they have the Amazon.
I don't know what kind of.
I like YouTube Music.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
If you get a YouTube premium subscriction so you can avoid all the ads, that also includes with music, or no? So. Is that a completely?
I think YouTube Music is like a $10 a month.
Maybe it's an add-on.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, because that's pretty cool too. I know Neil was talking about paying, and I'm like getting close to that too, because like watching my kid. So on my TV, it's just YouTube. Like we have a big TV.
Right. Yeah.
I watch like sports, or like last night we watched White Lotus episode 4 there. So we watch shows like that, but we don't watch too much cable. It's sports, and then if the kids are ever on it, it's straight to YouTube.
Yeah, it's mainly YouTube. That's like, my household as well. It's like
so, and then I have to watch those.
We're on YouTube.
Ads. We are.
Yeah.
Are we live yet? Or
are we live? Are we doing this live?
Well, I don't think we're live yet, but if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you do hit that like and that subscribe and get it going. We have over 500,000 subscribers, so we had a lot of fun last week with Kevin O'Leary. We've had Brett Favre on the show as well recently, and more guests to come as we get more exciting. And next week we'll have guest appearance from Neil as he's coming back. So people are wondering where he's at. And then actually on Thursday, Friday, I'm not sure exactly the format, but I think Joe will be here. Yeah, so he's coming over on this side as well as you're heading down to the good old MIA to go visit your good friend Rick Ross. So that should be a lot of fun.
Big balls.
Yes. All right, let's go back over to the desk. Thanks, Joe, for that options. Thanks, Randy, for that little talk there about Apple Music. And we'll go find out. I think these two guys are Spotify guys up there.
Yeah, let's see.
Funny, I was just saying to Sharif, my wife literally just messaged me and said our Spotify is not working this morning. So totally a coincidence, but kind of weird.
Mine was working on the way to work. All right, 56.21, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES March contract. The overnight low, 55.58. So that's what we're using as support. We're looking at that 55.50 area as support as resistance. We're looking at the overnight high, 56.50 as resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video. Grab the watch list. It's free. Top link in the description will get you to the sign-up page. All you need then is your email address. We do your homework for you. Send it right to your inbox. Has everything you need to know on it every single morning. I mean, I put bounce on there, Tesla bounce, but wait 10 minutes and it might not be. We're all the way back, pretty much. 0.16 now only for Tesla. Yeah,
this data over here is not a glowing endorsement for a long today. The worst single-day drop in 5 years for Tesla, over 15.5%. The stock has already declined every single week since Musk joined the Trump administration. It's lost more than 50% its market capitalization, equal to about $800 billion. That's an eye-watering number there. Doge's operations are achieving some achievements here. Apparently, he's saving about $4 billion daily, but some estimates have challenged that. Federal government employees fell by about 10,000 in the month of February. Nothing we really want to celebrate, but some look there. Now, with respect to the X outage yesterday, he is being attacked apparently by Ukraine-based IP addresses, in addition to the Tesla, let's just call them protests at the dealership. So a bit of a tough look for him.
Yeah, I was reading about that yesterday. What do you think Trump's going to buy?
He said he bought a Tesla.
Yeah.
Model X.
Has to be.
Got to be.
You think he's a Model S plaid kind of guy? I don't know.
You can get the plaid and the X too, so why not, right? Over 1,000 horsepower.
I wonder if he'll drive.
Don't mind.
Or it'll just sit parked outside the White House.
I don't think he drives that thing.
I don't know. Thoughts, guys?
Yeah. Maybe he bought a truck.
They need like a Pope mobile, but like a president mobile. Remember, I remember Fisker was supposed to be building that new Pope mobile, but I guess that's not happening.
That makes sense. He can't just buy any just Tesla. It's got to be like a presidential, like reinforced.
That's why the plaid might be a good idea there.
All the bells and whistles that comes with presidential.
I mean, just let the man get back to work. As far as I know, I mean, I think Elon Musk made a huge mistake, obviously, and the stock price is showing that. Even getting involved in all of this, but you know what? It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, probably for Elon, is what he was thinking. Getting into the White House.
Did you see his tweet?
No.
He said everything will be fine in the long run. Or something.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I saw those tweets and that he said that. Yeah, it's been a distraction, and he knows that, and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that all he can do is really just point to the stock's performance. It's been a monster. I said, like, no matter how much we can hate on Nvidia or Tesla or anything like that, these two stocks have printed more millionaires than anything else, because the move from the last 10, 15 years, 20 years in some of these names has been absolutely incredible. And you talked about buying and holding things.
What's a little bit of reversion? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit is fine.
No,
a whole hell of a lot
relative to where we've come from.
Nah, but
like this reversion is absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Not really.
I mean, you said 20-30% reversion, right?
Well, if you're gonna go back 30, 40 years, fine. But I mean, at the same time, it's just like,
I think base case for reversions usually is like 50%.
Is it that far?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
well, I'm just looking at this thing here, even on a weekly chart. I mean, you're right. I mean, that's what we were talking about. You know, to get involved in Tesla down here is a completely different story. Yeah. But at the same time, this is kind of what I'm talking about. You're back to 2020 levels. Yeah. So in 5 years, if you've done nothing like me and just sort of sat in Tesla, you've wasted your time over the last 5 years. That's pretty disgusting because the S&P 500 or even just the NASDAQ, I don't care what we want to look at, over the last 5 years, if you're going to go back to 2020 right here, if you were invested in the S&P 500, you'd be still almost, so that would be 212, you're at 470.
Yeah.
So in 5 years on the NASDAQ, you're up about 130%. In 5 years in Tesla, you're flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not great, man. I mean, in those 5 years, Tesla had exponential growth as far as selling their cars. They're become Model Y is the number, Model Y, Obi, is the number, look at this, number one selling car, right? Whoops, all the way back down. So sure, we could talk about an engineered stock price. We could talk about it ripping up from election. We could talk about 2020 COVID lows down into here. But at the end of the day, this is where we were in 2020. This is all included in multiple splits, all included here. Tesla's giving you nothing in 5 years, except for a fun ride up and down. But that's great for us because as day traders, we really like that stock. Now, I didn't write down Tesla here on the sticky note. And the only reason is that I think we're just a little far away from me really doing anything on the short side. I like this level here, 228 and change. I was hoping for a rebound day. I think the NASDAQ can just calm down a little bit here, and maybe we can get back up. So I would say a fade, always looking at key levels of 230. But this is what I really look at for momentum. This is the 200 period on a 5-minute chart. So before I go long or before we really start to hardcore fade this thing, I think you got to get into this area, which is 238 to 240. You would think that we have no chance of getting there, but we were there yesterday at noon. So this is the area where we had some indecision, right? Bouncing back and forth before, whoops, all the way down, and what a horrible afternoon we saw for Tesla. Much worse than the market. The market actually rebounded a little bit there in the afternoon. Yeah. Tesla showed no love at all for that. Tesla touched 210 on Blue Ocean yesterday. So for me, it's kind of like, put your hands up in the air and wave them like you just don't care until you get back into this 240 area. I don't think we see we see 220. I don't have the after hours in here, but that 210 I know was some level, so maybe we can wait to see if a 210 hits. But I think it's due for a bounce. I think a lot of these stocks are due for a bounce. So it's about trying to play that fade and figuring out where that bounce spot is.
Yeah, no. Usually what I like to do is if I put enough technicals on the Tesla chart, the higher probability that one of them at least hits, right? So that's kind of the look that I usually. I'm joking. So yeah, no.
Put that back up there. I want to because this is definitely telling me to go long. There's a definite signal there.
There's some signals there for sure, and the signals might be that I'm a little crazy, but no, just coming into some support, right? At the end of the day, I think the best indicator for me would be volume, and we can see that we've had expanding volume as we've sold off back into these prior support levels. So all I'm looking at is if we're headed towards a prior support with increasing volume, what is the probability of us breaking through that level? That's the question that I'm asking. And the next bus stop right here is at 212. So just to keep it simple for today, Sean, all I'm looking at is prior day low. So prior day low, we consolidated in and around that 220 level. So yesterday I talked about that 250 being a bit of an over-under, and guess what that was? That was prior day low, and that came in absolutely beautifully. So if we're going to be looking for continuation today, I'm going to see if it continues below prior day low, keeping it simple, 220 over-under, and that's it. Maybe we can play around with the VWAP, but let's see if it bounces. If it does bounce, let's see if it holds 220.
The least exciting reactions, anyways, to earnings so far this morning has been Oracle, down 2.4% right now. We tested higher after the close yesterday. We test lower. Now we're kind of back in the middle here, drifting downside with the overall market, rejected 150. For the most part, there's a ton of analyst moves on this morning. For the most part, kind of in the middle or maybe leaning a little bit negative this morning. Not much here.
It was a miss on the top and bottom line for the current quarter and a really bad guide. So we'll talk about this. Let's talk about the $1.47 that they printed on EPS. The street wanted a $1.49. Net income was able to increase about 22% year over year, though. Revenue fell short of expectations as well. 14.13. The street was looking for basically 14.4, so a miss on the top and bottom line. Now, with respect to their guide, they're actually guiding 8 to 10% revenue growth, which is less than what the street was looking for. They wanted 11%. EPS, also the guide coming in light, Brendo, $1.61 to $1.65. The street wanted $1.79, so a miss there as well. Very few good things to report here. Now, in terms of where they're actually making money, cloud services revenue up nicely year over year, $11 billion. That's 78% of their total revenue from that one segment. Now, cloud infrastructure revenue, that was up 49% year over year, up to $2.7 billion. Some good news, though, they are continuing to increase their CapEx for AI, $16 billion for 2025. That's double last year's spending, and they're boosting that quarterly dividend, Brendo, from 40 to 50 pennies.
And echoing a lot of other companies in that one slide you showed, they're doubling capacity on the data center side, so the forecast still optimistic, I guess, lack of a better word there. But this is not, so far today, guys, the chart leaning downside.
Yeah, not happy. Yeah, yesterday on the show, on the recap show, Adara, of course, did a great job. I was average. But I just wanted to think about Oracle. Again, like we thought there was a chance for it to come in there with that $130 backlog in sales. We did, as Sharif had mentioned there, missing on the top and the bottom's not great. It wasn't a huge miss, but stocks don't normally get punished for that. It's about the guide, right? And so not great. They did increase the dividend from 40 to 50 cents. I thought that was pretty good, to be honest with you. A 25% increase in the dividend. That seemed pretty nice. But again, not being spared at all. Down at the 200 period moving average. We had seen that just a couple of days ago at 160, and then we thought we could get back up there last night. We were trying, and then it just came right back in again. So yeah, the backlog in sales, I thought that meant, that there was still some, spend here for the space, and it just looks like the market's not really giving it any credit here. So Oracle, I'm still in the name long from $100, or maybe 110, 108, something like that. But again, it looks pretty silly, right? I mean, not getting out anything at the top, which is really the thing. Like, the strategy sucks when you're a buy and hold kind of guy, but there's some pretty obvious tops in many of these stocks, but it's only obvious when you look back. At the end of the day, Obi, you're coming into some good support here, I feel like. Back into last summer, July, 140 before we took off. We have Operation Stargate coming through as well, which were some of these bumps here. So, look, I still like the name. I think that they're involved. The White House has already sort of given some contracts away. Oracle's part of that. I think this is one of the safer buy the dip names because it's an infrastructure play. So I like Oracle down here. You get a div. You know what? I'm going to find out what the dividend is actually on this, and then we'll be able to see, because I don't think it's huge, but I think it's better than some of these other names, that's for sure. Okay, no, that's the short flow, 1.46%. Dividend yield, it's only 1%, so 1.1%. I don't know if that includes their 25% increase, but it's right there. So it's not bad, it's not horrible, it's not great. I thought it was a little bit higher than that. So anyways, 1%, but 25% increase on that is nice as well. So hey, Adara. But yeah, any thoughts on Oracle?
Yeah, I think Sean, I love when volume kind of confirms trend. Right? So it's like volume comes in, we get a catalyst, sure, earnings, whatever. Earnings comes in, we get volume coming into the ticker, and guess what it confirms? Kind of pulls up into that 156, and we've been downtrending from these highs. Since I guess the end of last year, December 24, we made that 198 high, and since then we've only seen pretty much lower highs and lower lows here, with that trend coming in and starting to accelerate off of a lot of these anchors that I had pinned to somewhere to the run up that we had going into the high. So a lot of the buyers, a lot of the longs, we're trading well below the average weighted price of those participants, kind of visiting these prior levels here. But yeah, looking back at it, looking left right here, you can see that the next kind of support level being at that 136, 137-ish level, and look at that. The earnings reaction low is at 137.50. So let's see, kind of pretty much stayed within its earnings reaction range. So I'm going to give more precedent to the bigger picture trend that Oracle's been having since its all-time highs, and that is a little bit to the downside and definitely reflecting that of the rest of the market. So So yeah, I got that anchored on here as well, right there from the current earnings. So I got to just move it over to the right candle here. So right there, that's sitting at 150.26, and that kind of confluences with that downtrend here as well. So it's like, all right, well, if we do catch a bid up in towards some of these highs, some of these pre-market highs, the question I'm going to ask is there still supply there that's shown itself not only for the past couple of weeks, but since we made those all-time highs in the past December, the last month of the year. So let's see if that pressure comes back in, but I'm going to be looking for continuation today on Oracle.
Go on to crypto here, coming back in as well after a nice bounce to start things off this morning. 2.25 still for IBIT. I mean, there's not much in the way of headline for this morning, just a maybe hopeful bounce, I think, by the overall market here.
Yeah, let's hope so. It was blood in the streets yesterday. Brenda, let's talk about what these different coins lost. Bitcoin down 4.5%, dropped about 76.9. That's a 4-month low, and it's down now 29% from its all-time highs after the Trump win there. ETH also almost 10%, the lowest it's been since October 2023. Dogecoin lost 11%, give or take, and the total crypto market cap dropped 4.25% down to $2.5 trillion. We were over $3 trillion at one point, Brendo. Now, mass liquidations obviously hit the street. $926 million got liquidated in 24 hours, with 742 million long positions being erased. Bitcoin short positions increased 52% of total current market positions, and a potential Bitcoin rebound to 85,000, though, could trigger, Brendo, about $1 billion in short liquidation. So we'll have to see if that all works out.
Not positive data, but you took the words right out of my mouth here. Even if you look at IBIT yesterday, heavy volume down here to the sell side, guys.
Yeah, definitely one to watch is crypto, and yeah, a lot of liquidations. But we got to remember that money is not just poofing out into thin air; it's just changing hands. Right? It's not like people lost 1 trillion something, but it just moved from one account one account to a different account. We have to remember that when we're speaking in those terms. But yeah, Bitcoin with a little bit of a pullback here. We kind of talked about this yesterday, going up to a higher time frame, like the 3-hour. You can see kind of my focus is still bigly on this breakout that we had through that 70,000 mark going into February of last year, right? So that's where we really got that kind of expanding volume, that aggressive push all the way into that 100,000 mark. And now we're taking a little bit of a pullback back into 77s. Now I know Joe and I have been talking about this. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for that 75, maybe even 65 to see if this resistance turns into support. But what do I know? Support can definitely come back in a little bit higher. It doesn't have to go all the way down there, but those are kind of the levels that I'm watching for. But a bit of a pullback off of the consolidation of that 100. Do we get a bounce? We tried to test 75 overnight there, Sean. 76,555 I have as the low here on Coinbase. So that's pretty close. That's pretty much a 75 test. Let's see if we catch that bounce. But that prior high is sitting right at 73.8. So we're relatively close to that prior resistance level. So
yeah, we tweeted out last night. Ethereum got as low as I have a couple coins up right here. Ethereum got as low as 1760 last night. You did see a nice little rebound in Cardano. Cardano was down to 65 cents, but see, I was looking this morning and it was up 75 cents. Solana was 130 and change. XRP was up to 220 something. So yeah, they're starting to turn around a bit with Bitcoin as well, making the move down lower right now. So I'm not sure, man. Some of these names just continue to get hit to that downside. So, it's a nice little fade opportunity. I actually don't mind breaking out that top. I know when we look at stocks, you think sort of like pre-market highs. And again, there really is no pre-market when we're talking about IBIT. But if you're going to look at Bitcoin, you sort of just nailed some of those levels there. Where did I put my Bitcoin chart? Here it is right here. Got it called down. I do have Bitcoin down there. This one's showing 81,000, so that's a little bit better than what we just looked at. But there's that level right there, Obi. We basically got there last night. I mean, if you're willing to buy 74s, maybe you were also willing to buy 76.5s or so. So, we came close into that. A couple more down days, obviously, in the NASDAQ will bring this a lot lower. Just another name to look at, Coinbase. Like, again, Robinhood you know, Coinbase getting hit down here, come on, Coinbase, not IBIT. Coinbase getting hit down doesn't surprise me, but Robinhood just reported 700% increase in crypto trading from their last quarter. So I just, you know, I think there's going to be some value in these names as well at some point. We talked about Cathie Wood coming in, buying Palantir, Coinbase, Tesla, a few other names, well, definitely Robinhood, but down into there into 175. I'm thinking we're getting pretty low, almost worth buying some of these spots here in Coinbase. We know that if crypto does wind up bouncing again, this stock's going to have a huge windfall, right? Much more than Bitcoin. Now, you think Bitcoin can get back to 90,000? That's only 10% from here, right? You add 10% to Coinbase, you're just back to where you were yesterday. So if it really gets going here, this is where we were trading when crypto was 90,000. Bitcoin. So there is some value there. I just saw Rob, and he had sent me this message, and pretty funny. We have the red MAGA hat, but right now it's very red, just like the fruit salad, with various names. This would kind of be a cool hat to wear, but I'm a bull. So yeah, that's you know, not one that I'd be sporting around, but funny. I wonder if when you start to see things like this, and they're getting passed around and people are talking about them.
Yeah. Is it an indicator? So I wanted
there's a bottom.
I wanted to ask you about this. So sometimes I use this as a bit of an indicator. Last night, interestingly enough, a buddy of mine calls me. We haven't spoken in about a year and a half, right? Randomly calls me. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, right? He's like, I just opened a crypto.com account.
Yep.
Can you like you're involved in the trading world? I'm like, yeah, I guess you can say that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm starting out. I don't know. I'm still very much a newbie. But like he's like, oh, you know, can you help me set up my account? Can you kind of walk me through like how to buy and sell and everything? And I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart and I'm like, oh boy, is this the indicator?
Because
is this the indicator? Pile in now. No, it's like Buddy hasn't spoken to me in about a year and a half. I get a random call being like, "Hey, I'm just opening up a crypto account because I want to get involved," and Bitcoin has just double topped to 110.
It's the whole thing that. Oh, he called you back then.
No, he called me last night.
Last night, so I thought. Yeah, but now was a good time for him to get involved. No,
maybe. Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to play both sides, long and short, it doesn't matter. Just get involved.
Mr. Roberts and I always talk about that, where we talk about how, what's our barber talking about? What's the Uber driver talking about?
I think that's a great indicator.
What's like your kids talking about around the dinner table? What is like your father phoning you about? You know, things like this, because people that aren't, and by the way, I take a little bit of, you know, I know you're a very humble guy, but you have tons of experience in day trading, dude. You've been literally sitting in front of a level 2 for 5 years. Or how long? 4 years? 5 years?
Yeah, I'd say four.
Yeah, that is very seasoned vet.
More seat time. I need more seat time. I don't think.
I need more seat time, but I would say you are a seasoned veteran, my friend. Okay, there's a lot of people here. I don't know what the problem is. People are saying that there's a huge problem with the sticky note. Half of you can click it, half of you can't. So we'll just show it right here. We have Apple long at 224. I'm looking for Intel short at 21 bucks. We'll talk about that. Palantir, I'm looking for an $80 short. Some of these plays are a little ways away. It's fire alarm day. And then we're looking for the Q short at 62.50 and AMD at 98.50. So you can go pause, go find that out, rewind if you can't see it. But I'll be showing the sticky note for a minute. And we do apologize, once a month or once every 3 months or whatever it is, there are fire alarm tests in this building. So if you are hearing something in the background, it will hopefully be temporary.
Sound the alarm.
May I have your attention, please? All right, let's go back over to the desk. China strength is something that we could focus on if you're looking for longs.
It's getting to a point where it feels like it's more than once a month, but bear with us. It'll be one of those days. Xpeng here, 9.7. If you're looking for strength today, go to China or pull up some ADRs. 25 bucks comes and goes here. We're holding above $25. You were just making the point. We're almost back to pandemic highs here for Xpeng.
Yes, you know, I always talk about my friend Alfred. He was holding this thing at like 32 bucks. We're at 25 and change now. So we'll see if we can get back there. But let's talk about why China is doing so well. So China has doubled its consumer trade subsidies up to 300 billion yuan for 2025. That covers about 15 to 20% of selected product purchases, including like mid-range smartphones and home appliances and stuff like that. So they're basically trying to spur consumer spending here. Now, their growth and consumption focused really helping out here. So China's targeting 5% GDP growth, but specifically, they don't want to rely on infrastructure spending. We saw what happened with real estate last time they did that. So this is the first time they're actually prioritizing consumption of goods for the first time in a decade. They're also looking at basically increasing government stimulus and looking to raise money with government bonds. They want to raise the fiscal deficit to about 4%, so not a bad look there. And then stuff that they're focusing on, Brendo, they're looking for smartphone sales, new electric vehicle sales, traditional retail. That's kind of what they want this stimulus to kind of bolster. With real estate, yeah, and kind of being a bit of a question mark there. I'm not sure really why they want to bolster real estate because so many unsold properties, so many ghost buildings still in some of these cities that Xi Jinping wanted to build.
On that, here's $13.8 billion going into robotics as well for Xpeng. So maybe some of that coming from this stimulus. So even Xpeng getting into robots, guys.
That's interesting. I mean, it's, you know what? Thank you for pointing that out. It's actually doing significant relative volume in the pre-market. Go ahead. XPEV, yeah. So okay, so now I got to add this. I definitely got to add this one to my watch list on the day today. If XPEV is going to do that and move on robotics news, then yeah, that's a theme that's been kind of catching a little bit of interest, if not a bid, over the past couple of months. But yeah, I'm just looking at the Hang Seng over here, and we've been catching a pretty much not really steady, but higher highs and higher lows is what I mean. Catching a bit of a bid from these lows that we made in the beginning of 2024. You kind of see that we false broke that prior low into that 15,000 mark here on the Hang Seng, and we've been continuously making higher highs and higher lows. You can see this 3-4 week run on the stimulus, that I call it the stimmy bid that we had. We caught a bit of a backside, and then we found a support a little bit higher on prior resistances. Now we're pushing past that stimulus bid high above 23 halves there on the Hang Seng and continuing to push a little bit higher. So yeah, a lot of these tickers we can probably look at some of these for sympathy or like for a similar move in some of these names. So yeah, XPEV definitely going to be on watch today. And I know Baba, a lot of people involved in Baba, and you can see that Baba is catching a bit of a bid as well, consolidating and holding base above prior resistance levels here on Baba. What's up?
I have some very, very bad news to tell everybody. The market, like Apple just gapped down $2.
Oh boy.
So there's an Apple sell, 450. I want to talk about FXI, I'll do it in a second, but Apple just got crushed. Like I written down on the sticky note 224. Well, that just like, we were 225.50, boom, right there in a second, crushed. Nvidia was not crushed as much. It was, what is wrong? I gotta, don't get frustrated. The charts aren't flipping fast enough, but okay, 107.50, down $1 on Nvidia right there. Amazon as well, wow, 193 right now. Amazon was cruising 194.50, down $1. NASDAQ turns red right there. Palantir crushed as well. Palantir was starting to think about making a move here. Not really, actually, didn't even get going. But Palantir also down $1 on that move. Let's check out what AMD is doing. We still got to talk about Hood, but there's AMD, boom, down $1. Wow. I know, like. All right, quickly, FXI. I mean, up 1.75%, obviously not affected by any of those moves right here. I like this bid down here, the 200 period moving average. I'm bidding 36.40 right now on FXI. So I was just about to put my orders in on some of these stocks to go long. Because Apple was at 224. Apple's now below that level. Intel, look at this, oh boy. Not a big move, but definitely a nice move to the downside right there into 1995. Maybe we'll play $20 as a short there. All right, with only 2 minutes to go, let's go find out about Robinhood, and then we'll go on from there.
Yeah, real quick, as we mentioned early on this morning, Kathy Wood in there buying Hood yesterday. She bought some Tesla, Palantir as well, doing some shopping on these moves down. I mean, this is the daily chart of Robinhood. I mean, at some point, this is getting pretty interesting here.
What a move down. It was a great move up. An equally ugly move down. So the ARK did acquire about 269,000, almost 270,000 Robinhood shares yesterday in the ARKK account worth about $9.6 million, but they bought a bunch of other stuff. Brendo, we talked about this to start the show. They bought 123,000 of Tempest. They also got about almost 100,000 of AMD, a little bit less than 53,000 of Coinbase. Also picked up an eye-watering amount here of Palantir, about 124,000, give or take. Actually, more than that, almost 150,000, because they added into ARKK and ARKF. So she was on a buying spree yesterday, Captain Wood.
I mean, a lot of these stocks that have had these huge runs, this Palantir as well, this move down, getting pretty impressive, guys. 124, as we've talked about heavily on this show, back to 75.
Yeah, so impressive. Yeah, Palantir right now is one of the other names that's holding up flat on the year. Cannot believe that. Yeah, look, Robinhood. I bought some JP Morgan yesterday. I'm not sure what best of breed is in this space anymore. I know JP Morgan is, but as far as these other banks or these mini, again, crypto trading, more clients. Look, I like Robinhood, man. I mean, I'm not going to bash this name. I actually was thinking about picking some up down here. I think it's at some key levels, 36, 35 bucks. I like Robinhood here. Adara, we've got 20 seconds right now before the bell winds up opening. We were just talking about Ramin, what are we going to trade? Is Ramin ringing the bell? Yeah, you might as well, because the bell is on right now. Less than 10 seconds to go before we ring this bell. Yeah, so I don't know what to hit, but I do like Robinhood right now. 3, 2, 1. We are now open. So let's go. Let's see what happens in this market. Thank you, Ramin, for that. All right, Apple, Robinhood, still nice little downside move. Thank you for joining us here again. We are looking at Apple 224. Well, that's starting to take off just a little bit. Apple down 1.43%, much more than the market. So let's hold off on getting too excited about this here early. We talked about it yesterday, getting involved a little bit too early. Best of luck to everybody today as the market is now open. The casino doors are open. You can enter now, but keep your bankroll a little tight maybe early as we wait to see what's happening. AMD still up 0.8. That could be a trade here today off the open as well for advanced micro devices. So right now underneath VWAP, trying to get going there. What's its brother doing here in Nvidia? Nice move to the upside as well, 106, bouncing off of 106. So that could be another level right into there. 108 high. If we run, what about taking this as a long? 108 for Nvidia. So we'll look at that right here. But the market's just finding its footing. So far, so good. Maybe it is that Apple long at 224 that we need to look at. It's bouncing around that level right now.
Yeah, so I think I'm being patient. I'm watching a few of these tickers here. Xpeng is actually going and blasting off as of right now. KSS is finally open there. That's a New York stock. Could take sometimes a few minutes to catch the first orders there, but yeah, kind of consolidating underneath. It's anchored as of right now, 1050. So keeping an eye on that. Intel was actually interesting. $20. We kind of talked about that yesterday. A bit of an interesting level in the pre-market since 8 a.m. There was a stacked bid just holding up that 2001s. There was reserves happening right off of the imbalances. That 20 gets cracked. We go to 1995s. I'm watching it right now to see if it's going to have that continuation here. That's not the only one. I'm watching Asana. I'm watching Oracle as well. Oracle's kind of catching a little bit of a sell.
Bye-bye.
But yeah, let's see if we can get back into the 20.
Bye-bye.
Let's see if we can pull back up into places where sellers were yesterday, so we can get a better, maybe a better entry on the ticker instead of chasing it below 20 there on Intel. So in terms of Mag 7, SPY's kind of to the downside here. Amazon's ticking up. Softy coming back into pre-market range highs. Nvidia also catching a bid. Meta, we were watching Meta. Meta's also catching a bid here. KSS, there it goes, back down towards that $10.15 level here. So let's see if Kohl's can catch a little bit of a sale below that $10 level here on the day. I was looking for a breakout on XOM. That's not really happening as of right now. Pulling back into some of those prior day levels there. Oh boy, Sean.
Yes.
Some of these earnings names are going. Oracle to the downside, below 140 now.
Yeah, we're testing against the lows here of Apple. We were in, we scalped some out. Now we're trying to see if it wants to bounce. I don't know if it does, but here we go for Apple. We're going to be flat on this stock. Obviously, it's going to be position pending here as we continue to now. When Moon? We asked someone asked Michael Noss yesterday. I was like, do we have any questions? They're like, yeah, when Moon? I don't know when Moon, but all right. So we're going to wait to see what happens here. We just had a nice push up there in Apple into 223.50. So let's take some out if it does get back up there. We're long right now off that local bottom. We did get flushed down due to, again, we did have an imbalance come through for them. So there it is. We take some more out there at 50s. Now we start to run. It's going to be a big trade for us if it works. So we're going to hold on to a little bit of Apple here just to see if it does come through one more time. All right, FXI. All right, so we did get a little bit of a dip. We're waiting for 36.40. Hopefully that can come in and we will address then. Oh boy, Obi. Here it is, man. Look, we talk about one day Met. There's our daily goal. Daily goal met right now on Apple, off that long, off the bottom. So this temporary could easily crack lower again, but it's a nice move up right now. $1.30 for the long, now on Apple. Let's see this market run. Apple yesterday was absolutely crushed. So that's why I sort of wanted to go into the long, see if there was a retracement back. We are out of more than half of that. That one day made was up there at 224.30s or whatever it was. So now we're giving some back as we continue to hold on to this name. Obi, it does look like Amazon wants to break a little bit as well. Okay. Straight up right there off open. So a name that I really like, but the level that I was looking at for Amazon was 197. So it was like this 196.50 break, use one, oh, that's actually 190, yeah, it's like 196.75 or so. That kind of a break higher is what I like for Amazon. We'll wait for it. Holy crap, Obi. This is gonna be a good trade for us right here on Apple. Let's go, man. We wrote it down. We liked it on the sticky note. I know a lot of you guys have problems. It was the #1 idea today was Apple long. So we ring the register now, a day and a half worth of gains at the top. Let's see if it can hold. I like it. We also have Nvidia trying to push tops as well. 108 for NVDA. I'm just sort of talking like crazy here. Yeah, no. I know you don't have too many positions, but there it is. Bang. Yes, sir.
Boom.
Boom. That's all we need, Obi. All we need is Apple. And there it is, man. An apple a day does keep the dentist away. But today I do have a dentist appointment in the afternoon, so join. Sharif will be doing
everything's okay. Just a routine checkup. There.
No, I had a routine checkup about 2 weeks ago, and I don't have a cavity or anything like that, but there is a little bit of a filling or something that they need to do. So the guy told me it's not a needle or anything like that, just to come back and do it before it gets bad. I didn't, you know what? I didn't have cavities until like I was like 40 something, like then I got 2 of them or something like that. Now I'm like super
I've ate way too many chocolates in my life to not have that.
This is a huge trade for Apple, by the way, dude.
Yeah, that Apple is really sending it. That 223 level. I think I might have had that marked up as well. But yeah, catching a little bit of a bid here is the market. Let's see if we can catch. I'm watching. I'm continuing to just observe as of right now. XPEV again. That. Like I mentioned earlier, it kind of got on my watch list a little bit later than I'd liked it to. But yeah, that thing is really sending it to the upside, 26.37 with an open just above that $25 level here on XPEV. So I'm watching that.
Tesla?
I'm watching this Intel and the Coles as well. Coles went down to that $10 level, couldn't quite break it, and then catching a little bit of a bid once again. So let's see if we can get any lower highs here on Coles. But yeah, what's Tesla up to? Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's a Tesla or a Lambo, but right now Tesla is absolutely ripping. Excuse me. Got some water here. Still got this frog in my throat. Like I don't even know what's going on.
It's not going away.
Come on, frog. All right. So Tesla 229 in Kermit, 229 right now. That was some highs here in the pre-market. So get ready, man. Tesla, rev those engines up, man. A nice little 3% move to the back end there. So we'll see. No real spots. We wrote down that we weren't too interested into it until we got into the 240 area, which was right here. We may get to that level. Wow. Okay, this Apple, Obi, now almost $3 now in the money. Let's take some more out. Obi, how in the heck can I hold this? We talked about this yesterday, like trying to get a little bit more cash on these trades, trying to hold them. Like only for me to only have right now, look, we still have a decent spot on. We haven't traded too many shares, almost totaling, about close to 1,000, depending on where we get out and how many shares we wind up having left. But up to the upside right here, we're looking at that 200 period moving average, 226 and change. This is now a 1, a 2, a $3 winner to start the day here on Apple. And again, I do know that a lot of you are having some problems with the sticky note. We showed it earlier, 224 long on Apple. So it's the #1 trade idea, and there it goes. It's a boomer to the upside, man. Okay, you're long Intel, good. So I'm glad we're both kind of feeling the longer.
I mean, I hesitated in the 70s, but then now we got back up to that $20 level, but still holding it as a little bit of resistance here. So again, I'm just waiting, still being patient. But yeah, that 70s area was pretty nice there. Missed about 20 pennies on Intel. That is pretty. I think it's pretty significant. When it comes to Intel, here I have it right here. So 20 pennies is roughly about 15% of its ATR. So yeah, a little bit of a miss not punching in there when it makes that double bottom there. But reversion to VWAP now, we've kind of we're holding in and around VWAP. The market looks like it's strong. Let's see if this $20 level comes into play here as of right now, coming off into this open. But yeah, I'm kind of continuing to watch some of these earnings names at the same time. Asana selling off and Oracle selling off. XOM not really making that breakout. But yeah, Tesla actually trying to get to its pre-market highs, sitting at 233s on Tesla. So that one's definitely on watch here. Maybe we do catch a bid. Yesterday was 233 in the pre-market highs. So yeah, yesterday was a very, very strong sell day. I think we talked about it being one of the top strongest sell days there. I think definitely within the top 10 of Tesla's worst pullback days was yesterday. So maybe we catch a little bit of a relief on the day today. But yeah, the market kind of shared a similar sentiment with that aggressive selling. We saw how blood red we ended up. A lot of tickers kind of down 3, 4, 5% by the end of the day. So let's see if we catch more of the same today. Like I said, I was talking to Sean earlier in the kitchen before this morning, and I was just like, well, I just want to see if we're going to have more of the same. Sellers have kept stepping into the market for the past 2 or 3 weeks, some days more aggressively than others. But yeah, let's see if they do step in, whether it's in the morning session, the midday session, the late day session. I'm going to be staying patient and waiting and watching to see if there's anything of any significant difference.
I just wanted to go quickly over some risk management here, because if we break the 50-period moving average, we're going to get out. VWAP. So we're almost tapped out a little bit here. There we go. I got out of a quarter of what we had left right there, breaking through the 50-period. I had to adjust it. It's VWAP is down here at 75. We could have used that. I wanted to use the 50-period for momentum change. So again, we talked about almost being out of everything. We are. We only have now, I would say we have about 20% left, which is still a decent amount for sure, but we are giving a little bit back as we're trying to bounce off VWAP right now. Remember, we do have Jolts job openings coming this afternoon at 10 o'clock. Yeah. So that's in 20 minutes. So I believe it's at 10 anyways. I'll double check. I believe it is. So that could definitely move the market. You know, it's just Jolts, it's jobs opening. We did get jobs last Friday, and we have seen that market just kind of went up on that number as it was expected, a little bit of lower unemployment there. But at the end of the day, I think it was lower, or was it 4.1 versus 4? At the end of the day, it gave it all back, and the fade continued. So that's why we wanted to get out of a quarter of what we had left right there. We were at 2.5 times a daily goal at one point near the upside right there, but it's given it back. So right now we're at 1.5 times as the market bleeds just a little bit. Nvidia, not bleeds, but Nvidia makes that move to 110. Oh boy, what a move that was, Obi. It looks like we might have been on the wrong one. Apple and Nvidia both making big moves early, along with AMD as well. I'm looking to pick up something on dips. AMD not as strong as Nvidia. Nvidia was the one there early, AMD fading out. So if we're going to go short a chip name, it's probably going to be AMD as opposed to Nvidia, which is now up 2.5%. So looking for pullbacks back to VWAP, which is actually a pretty cool level here of 108. So if that comes in, we will definitely have one look at that. Apple's come from a $3 winner down to a $1 winner now, as it's given almost it all back. Yeah, making me nervous hands. We had looked at the TQs, trying to short it up there at 62.50. We didn't even really get even close to that. That level was just, again, a level that we were looking at from yesterday, similar to Tesla. If we ever got up into this area is where we wanted to short. That little peak right there is 62.50. That's kind of what we were looking at. We didn't even come close. We didn't even break the pre-market high on the NASDAQ. So although there was definitely individual names like, I'm not sure, I haven't been following Intel, but I'll pass it over to you in a minute. But longs like we had on Intel, longs like we had there in Apple worked, but now they're not, right? Now they're starting to fade out. So, I mean, that's why we talk about it, Obi, and I said when we were ripping up, it's like, how do we hold more? But then this happens, and I'm like, thankfully we didn't hold more. And this is the problem with being a trader. It's why I have no hair, grays, all that kind of stuff. It's like there's so many decisions that you have to make on a daily basis. Plus, I've got tires on my mind. And my daughter's at hockey right now. My son had a crazy good time at snowboarding. He told me he went off a 14-foot jump or something like that. I'm like, okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nice. So anyways, there we go. Starting to recover just a little bit here. Maybe looking at Palantir, and then I'll pass it back to you so we can discuss what's happening over there with you on Intel. So Palantir, I like 80 short. We could actually get to that level. So we'll try it. If it comes up to 80, we're going to try that. But we're only going to give it 50 cents. We don't want to get run over. We're battling back right now. Let's take advantage of this. Get out of 5% of what we have left on Apple. If it does get back in here to 224.50, we'll take another piece out. But so far, so good. Market's kind of been holding out. JP Morgan, we'll have a look at that. But let's go talk about your position with Intel.
Yeah, we're still kind of holding this opening range as of right now, kind of just chopping and churning with about 15, 20 pennies in and around that $20 mark there. Coal's still kind of holding that $10 area. And oh boy, the missed trade here, Sean, is Xpeng. Look at this one, straight to the upside. Let's go down to a 1-minute chart so we can see that a little bit better. Look at that acceleration, kind of just a strong bid right off of the open, pushing up even higher as we speak, 27.14. So 25.07 is the lows right there. Opening range low is at 25.30. So oh boy, indeed, for a nice little push up right off of the open there, doing increasing relative volume up about 7, almost 8% here. So let's see how much relative volume it's been doing. Started off around 4 times right off of the open, 4 or 5 times as much, coming up to like 8, 9 times, almost 10 times relative volume as we continue to take to the upside here on Xpeng. So very, very strong continuation off of the catalyst of humanoid robots by next year. So flying cars and humanoid robots on Xpeng, Sean. So that thing is absolutely crazy. Robinhood also catching a little bit of a bid here. Let's see. Let's take a look at some of our other tickers that were on the watch list this morning. So Tesla, again, still hasn't reached that pre-market high just yet, but it's on its way there with that bid coming in. Let's see if this market sustains over that 19.5 mark on the NASDAQ as well. Coal's below that $10 now. I look away for 2 seconds and it kind of cracks that $10 level, so we'll come back to that one a little bit later. Here, Asana still holding underneath. It's anchored, so we're gonna stay patient on that one. And Robinhood, again, let's see if I have an alert at 37 on Robinhood, so let's see. Robinhood right here, I can show you. So before the close, you can see that we did catch a little bit of a bid. We come into that 37.30s, and then we catch a sell. So it's like, all right, well, sellers were there going into the close yesterday, and in the pre-market session, we have a consolidation in and around that level as well. So I put up an alert just to see if and when we do get up there, are sellers going to be a little bit, or are they going to continue to be there? And that alert's going to point me in that direction. But Robinhood catching a little bit of a bid here, going off into the open. So that's what I got on watch here. Throw it in the chat. What are you guys watching? Have you guys been involved in Xpeng? That thing is absolutely wild. Or are you guys looking at something else like Meta or an Nvidia or a Tesla or an Amazon, which has been blasting to the upside here? Softy as well, pre-market highs. What's going on? What's with the sirens?
Who stopped
so many sirens. Oh, that's you.
I broke it, I think.
Oh, no.
I broke the stream deck.
Oh,
great.
boy.
I was thinking this time we got a coffee and we got Nvidia. So we're cooking it up right now. You just mentioned Nvidia. We played it off prior bar lows. So we played Nvidia right there off of this 5-minute period, giving it down to 109. Whoa. Just thought that maybe we could get going there. It's a nice move up there for Nvidia. So right now, there we go, man, up to 110. Nvidia really pumping higher. But what's just turned on us is Apple. Apple just went red right there. So I don't know if there's a story about Apple specifically or not, but Apple turning on its head right now. An apple a day, Randy, doesn't keep the stock away. Whoops, doesn't keep the stock away. All right, Palantir to 79. All right, my short was supposed to start at 80, so we will identify that. All right, here we go, man. Palantir Nvidia starting to go. I'm going to get out of this Palantir trade, even though it is working out for us. I'm going to get out of some. There goes Nvidia, man. This is a monster trade here. We're going to wait to see what winds up happening. It's now $1 on Nvidia, so we like that. We like that a lot. We did cover some Palantir there. I do not like this short, so we are going to cover some Palantir, which we just did. Forget about that, man. Forget about it. We are getting out of everything of Palantir. I am not no longer going to short it at that level. Here we go, man. It is now $1 in the money there as we go. So let's go, man. Nvidia, we took $2.50 on Apple. Now we go on Nvidia, man. Oh boy, Obi, it is that day right now again happening here today. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for hitting the like, hit the subscribe. Probably 10,000 on board right now. If not, we'll be a little disappointed. How many we got right now? 10,000, almost 11,000 right now. I'm going to refresh this and figure out how many likes we do have. But let's get going, man. We've got Obi here. You've only got Obi for 2 more days. And then you're going to have to put up with me. And then it'll be Joe as well on the show. And then I'm not sure the midday might be back to the original crew as well. All right, there it is, man. 111s now. Boom. Again? All right, so there it goes, man. We are back upside right now, $1.50, Obi. Oh boy, we are right back to where we need to be, man. Right back to that 2 times goal. Apple starting to go upside as well. And oh boy, that was a good decision to get it at Palantir for flat, as that is ripping upside as well. Apple, man, why didn't we get some more juice down there? Oops, that's not Apple. Why didn't we get more juice, Apple? There it is. So we did get a little bit. We didn't get enough. There's the reload, Obi. We are...
Was that 37 on Robinhood? Yeah.
Right there, 223.50. Nice. Yeah, so far so good here today, man. We're getting a little excited, but go ahead.
I'm watching this XPEV because
we do it for the show.
Of course. I'm watching this XPEV because it is quite strong, and as you know me, I'm like, all right, well, let's see when this bid kind of steps off. We made that high at 27.15, first 3-minute red candle, but still kind of holding within this range here. So we're going to keep that on watch. But yeah, no, I like it. I like that those tickers are pretty strong going back into prior days levels here. We talk about that Robinhood as well. It's coming up right there. It did trigger my alert for this 37, so we're pushing a little bit higher. So now I have eyes on. Alert doesn't necessarily mean that I'm making a decision right away. The alert also doesn't mean that I'm just going to be sitting there just with a sell after a strong down day. Again, that's just the first level where I might be looking for one. We can find a sell here, we can find a sell here, or we could just not find a sell at all, and we just continue pushing back up into yesterday's high, making it a reversion. You got to remember, a lot of these tickers sold off into the 8 p.m. close when the market closes. And I was looking at Tesla as well, man. Tesla actually closed at the lows at 8 p.m. It printed the lowest price on the day on the 8 p.m. close, and then we catch a strong bid coming out of the 4 a.m. open, and then a higher low as well. So technically, do you count that as a trend break? I have no idea, but the bid is definitely coming in on Tesla back to the upside, 235s. Remember, Sean, this morning you were like, oh, 240s maybe for the continuation. I think we might have a chance to get back up there with the ATR that Tesla's been kind of doing as of recent, more than within range. Here comes Intel back into the 20. Will it break? Will that, I mean, held bids in the morning, held offers yesterday. There's definitely an interesting price here on 20 on Intel, and you know it's not the most exciting trade, but again, I'm just waiting, being patient, kind of missing out on some of the more exciting trades here. Wow, SMCI blasting to the upside right now. SMCI, now I'm sure that that's very reflective of Nvidia. That's also at 111, but look at this SMCI, $39.99 for sale right now. Super price action here, 36.61 lows, and that aggressive bid right off of the open. So maybe we're catching a sell right here. Don't forget, we got about 8 minutes roughly until that Jolts number comes out, Sean. So
you expecting a jolt in the market, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've in the past we've gotten a bit of a shake and bake off of that number. So I'm going to be waiting and watching to see if that brings us anything.
What's up with the Maple Leafs yesterday? They were up 3-0 in Utah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yay Sports, but they were up 3-0 in Utah. And they wind up winning 4-3 in overtime. Like, what's up with that? But here we go. It's a nice little move there to face Slappa. I had them on FanDuel. I thought the money line for the Leafs was a little light there, minus 118. So we took them yesterday. We're on a 5-game winning streak with our bets right now. So we're feeling pretty good about the gambling side of things right there, because, you know, we don't bet enough during the day. We might as well go home and bet on the Maple Leafs as well. But actually, I made a mistake. I wasn't sure of the time zone there in Utah. So I basically went to bed. I saw it was up 3-0. It was about 11 o'clock or so. And I was like, hit the hay. And I wake up to see Austin Matthews scoring the overtime winner, shootout winner, 3-2. Marner and Matthews cashing in last night for the Maple Leaf Yield faithful right there as we get ready to rock and roll. And yes, I do have the Maple Leafs to win the Stanley Cup this year at plus 1,800. So not bad. So you drop down $100, you win 1,800 if they happen to do it. I also have the Winnipeg Jets, which I believe is decent value right now. Shout out to Adara for that one. We'll wait to see if the Winnipeg Jets can do something, of which, of course, none of them will win. It will probably be Florida or hopefully Edmonton. We can get McJesus going through there as well. Okay, quickly here because we're trading, right? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get stopped out of Apple if we break that low, which we almost did right there, 222.50. So if it breaks that low, we're out. I should have probably averaged in there. Let's put a bid like around 60 and take a very small piece, one more unit added back to this trade. Apple definitely got going early. We were right about it early, but that 224 level, kind of a nothing level there that we were sort of looking at. So I don't really feel like Apple, I have a great read on it. We were going long early. We got saved by that move right here. And now we might just get stopped out of the rest of them. So again, not in love. We are long here at the 80s. If we can get a little bit of a bump and get out of some of what we just put on, then we will do that at 223. But this is looking pretty weak, right? A turnaround in the market here sends Apple a lot lower for sure. So we're going to have to be careful with that. We've emptied the clip on Nvidia. I mean, we got up to 110.50. You were just talking about that. So we're going to have to wait for Nvidia. If it breaks 109, we're out of that as well. So net goes up, net goes down. And at the end of the day, it looks like our last move might be down. Right now as the market's faded out a little bit. That Palantir call at 80, geez, man. We're going to go to Adair in just 1 second. I just want to show this. We were scared of Palantir because we put the wrong price, 79. There's 80 short sell for Palantir. Looking for continuation here. Move could be key. Watch the tape. There's Palantir. It's not. We don't have it in. But, Obi, the high was $80.04. Right there off that call. So we missed it. We should have had it. We don't. Apple dropped through. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye on CYRS here. This company is called Syros Pharmaceuticals. No news. Penny stock at day's highs, trading around 24 cents right now. Got about a 23 million share float, $6 million market cap, almost 4% short float for penny stock SYRS. Also, just keep an eye out. We will have Jolts job openings in about 4 minutes. I will be giving those to you once we get them. Back to you.
My bad, Penguin Dynasty. I didn't even see Palantir up there. That was pretty stupid. But I did want to get out of the 79s because we were in danger there. And we should have looked at that. So my bad on that one. Palantir. I hope some of you guys have it.
Yeah, no, I kind of missed that push back down on XPEV there. We did kind of revert. We reverted pretty nicely there off of that 27, kind of a pullback. 27.15 stays that high a day, and then we come back down about a point for a 26.40 pullback. VWAP sitting at 26.12s. We've got about 4 minutes left for this Jolts number to come out. Yeah. So I'm gonna be a little patient there, Sean. I got my stops in. And just gonna, just wait and see what happens with this number. And if anything interesting does happen, maybe we take a little bit of a trade off of that there. But yeah, just being patient, waiting. This is still consolidating. I'm still chilling in the Intel here. Yeah, XPEV continuing to give us some moves here. Let's see if we can get a lower high or maybe that VWAP hold for a potential continuation as well, right? So again, probability is up in the air as of right now for me. Yeah, no, let me know in the chat. What are you guys trading? Are you guys in a position for the Jolts? Oh my God, Robinhood is continuing to push higher, John. So 37.60s currently. So that strong selling that came in all of yesterday, catching a little bit of relief as of right now as Robinhood kind of pushes right back up. Here comes the XPEV down into its VWAP, like we just talked about. 26.13. So price action is getting pretty aggressive right now with some of these tapes starting to push around nicely. So going to be patient. Chill Vibes saying, I'm short SQs. Okay, so Chill Vibes is long, I guess, long bias.
That's what he said.
Sun Ray saying, I'm in SYRS, quick scalper. Nice, good stuff. I like the scalp trades. Definitely, we were kind of talking about I know Joe was talking about the high probability one-to-ones, and a lot of scalps for me kind of tend to be in and around that idea there. So let's see if we get any scalps off of this number as well. Yeah, good stuff there. So Pro Day Trader saying Tesla, Kathy will always win. LOL. Yeah, Tesla's been a good one as well.
Kathy rarely
Straight to the
wins,
upside.
by the way. Kathy is always super early on all of the calls. I mean, if we want to talk about Kathy winning, we could definitely call up ARK and we can have a quick look at that. But look, man, I mean, that was a great call. Picking up some of those. You and I talked about that yesterday, to be quite honest, right? We said that there was going to be some pushback today in the market and that we were sort of expecting that play here. So it is nice to see a little bit of a rebound in the market, but hardly a rebound when you're up 0.3. Right now. So I'm with you. Was it Chill Vibes? I'm with you. I went long the TQs, right? We bounced off here. This is the 200 period. This is VWAP. If we break below 60, let's get out of there. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll average back into this one. Let's go long the futures right now. So we are long right now. The futures, can I say right now? So we'll wait to see what winds up happening, but I don't mind it here at this level. We'll have a quick look to see where exactly we're going, but yeah, I don't mind it. Just getting some orders ready because I don't want to get stopped out on anything premature. We want to make sure we do have the right orders up in there. So here's a nice little move. Let's get out of 3 or 4% up here on this play, and we'll look from there. So far, so good here as we watch out for these futures, right? I mean, nice move up. So we just went long there on the Qs at 33s. We just got some out there at 50s, so a little 20 handle, quick little scalp there, and see if we can get it. So yeah, not bad. We'll try to be patient with it, Obi, and see if these futures do want to print out for us a little bit. I'm hoping the answer to that is yes, and we'll just move on from there. So far so good here with the TQs. We're going to hold it against that 60 level. Nvidia not doing much. Apple has sorry, that's Palantir. Apple has continued to make a lower move as well. So with only 30 seconds to go, yeah, Fabian, I got you. With only 30 seconds to go, we're going to go back over to the desk and figure out what this Jolts number's all about.
Waiting here about 17 seconds till we get Jolts job openings. We are looking for 7.6 million versus the previous print here of 7.6 million. Jolts job quits. Previous 3.197 million. Forecast 3.21 million. Just about 4 to 5 seconds now. This is really the only big economic number of the day that we will get a Trump Business Roundtable at 5 p.m. And these Jolts should be in here. I'm just waiting to see if the number will populate for me. Coming in here a little bit higher than expected Jolts job openings. 7.74 million versus 7.6 million forecast. Jolts job quits I'm not seeing here yet, but again, slightly higher than expected here for the Jolts job openings. Here's the market pushing lower and now trying to bounce right now on that number. And again, just to recap, I just saw there, it looks like we have a new Trump Business Roundtable announced for 5 p.m. Eastern, of course, after the market closes, but certainly something to be aware of and keep an eye on. Xpeng really strong today with some humanoid robot news. State media is reporting the company is looking to spend up to $13 billion US on robots. Tesla also looking pretty great here off the open. TSLA rebounding after its worst performance in 5 years. Back to the guys.
Guys, the futures are now 100 handles in the money right now, man. We got that low bid, and there it goes. Boom, boom, pow, as they go. Nice little move there. We are now at the highest spot. Look at this long in Nvidia. This is $1.50 in the money. We just put this on. We just got filled right there. 109, Obi. This is at 110 and change. The futures are blasting right now. Shout out to Chill Vibes. Shout out to everybody that's with me. It's another one. Let's go, man. Let's see if we can keep it going, man. Neil, I hope you're having a good time in Dunedin, Florida, but this market is blast city right now. Can it hold out? We shall see. Or is this just the greatest fade opportunity ever in the history of the market? I don't know about that one, but we'll wait to see what winds up happening. Just getting some out, man. Oh boy, we just crushed that, Obi. That was a good one for us.
That was a crazy move up there.
What was that about?
We kind of popped and then came right back in. So it's like, what does that tell us, Sean? It's like maybe does it mean that sellers are still in charge?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe because like a pops are getting sold into. Yeah, perhaps. But let's see if we kind of continue to hold this 19.5 here on the Nasdaq off of a little bit of a Jolts. We kind of talked about that Jolts.
Here we go, jolting around.
Jolting around for sure here as of right now. So pretty crazy action. Intel got up to that 20, kind of printed 2005s and then coming right back in to 1990. So nothing too exciting here. Xpeng came into its VWAP and caught a little bit of a bounce. There goes the market coming right back in through that 19.5 as of right now. So maybe we are poised for a little bit more of a downside there, Sean. So yeah, apparently any volume that comes in is getting sold into. So pretty crazy market that we are in as of right now. Oh boy, here come the lows.
President Trump just advised another 25% on tariffs for Canada for steel. So yeah, blast off right now. Not great there. President Trump announcing another 25% move on steel for Canada. So TQQ just comes right back in right there. Look at that move all the way back down in. So, you know, we get excited about, I just said, is this not the greatest fading moment of all time? And it just went down 100 handles. What's up, Adara?
Yes, just to clarify the Donald Trump comment here, apparently based on the fact that Ontario has placed a 25% tariff on electricity, he has instructed the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutkin, to add an additional 25% tariff to 50% on all steel and aluminum. So 50% aluminum and steel tariff here, which he is saying is one of the highest tariffing nations, or because Canada is one of the highest tariffing nations everywhere in the world. It's going to go into effect tomorrow morning. So some more comments here about Canada's tariffs, but just to recap here, Donald Trump issuing here a 50% tariff on all, I guess, steel here and aluminum. Also, GOGO, initially why I had this throw here as we got the Trump news coming out, we got a positive note here from Citron Research with a long report, for lack of a better term, on GOGO Inc. Back to you.
Oh, man. We went GOGO downside. What was that?
Citron with a long report? That's interesting.
Yeah, that was... that fade really came in hard. Like, we just got stopped out right there, breaking a little bit lower, but we were able to take a little bit of advantage even on the way down to get, okay, well, now I'm trying this against 59s. So, okay, well, we might get stopped out right now. I was trying to get this against that pre-market low right there. If we do, okay, we're almost stopped out. If this does come back in, there it is. All right, we're still green on the day pretty decently, but we've given it all the way back. Now, we were up pretty huge when that was happening, and here it goes. We called that I mean, can we clip that? The greatest sell-off moment in history, possibly right there? Like, honestly, Obi, we were like, I wish it was just flat and all right there, because this market is now coming back in as Mr. Donald Trump playing hardball. It looks like that's not great for anybody, but, you know, I'm going to try one more time here, possibly for a little bit of a move back here. We just did get that bottom wick. Let's just see, man. Sometimes there is a little bit of an overreaction there, so we'll try to play it. If we can just get anything back, it'll wind up being, okay, now it's going to be a pretty good trade. But we need this to get back a little bit higher. So we'll start to take some out near this upside here of 20. There we go, 24, 25s. Nice little bounce back here as we'll take 20 handles back. But let's see a little bit more on this one as we're right back to daily goal. But again, this is just like, I should stop talking like that, because this market definitely like sending me a little topsy-turvy here. Look at Nvidia, man. That really cracked lower. Into the 200, though. That could have been something to look at there for NVDA. What happened to my guy Palantir? Actually, you got to take this over. I just got to make sure I do have that stop order, and I just realized I might not have it in for the future, so I want to look.
That Xpeng is continuing to kind of consolidate on top of VWAP right now, so I got that on watch. See if we can get that continuation push here. Intel got stopped out of it as it broke back through that low a day there. It was a little aggressive, kind of punched in a little bit more on that push there. Did get out, I guess, half of what I had of these shares that I chased into a little bit earlier here, in and around VWAP in the 1990s. But yeah, we're trying to catch a little bit of a bid here. Let's see if we've actually false broke those lows. That's what I'm watching. But yeah, a bit of a bid maybe potentially, but going to be patient for this one to potentially come in here. But yeah, Intel, let's see if it kind of consolidates or magnets back to that 20 again. Lots of volume, lots of liquidity sitting at that $20 mark that it's been showing yesterday and today. But yeah, let's see if price kind of magnets towards that liquidity, if it's still kind of sitting there. But the market is wicking right back up here. So let's see if we can reclaim that 19.5 mark after we've broken a lot of lows of days here on a few tickers, right? So I see the spider definitely doing some of that action here. Apple, though, not really as strong of a bid back up.
Get out of Apple.
On Apple there, Sean. So yeah, so a little bit of a shake and bake. We said that Jolts would give us a bit of a jolt, right? So.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed.
What a market. Los Polos Hermanos. Everybody there in the chat is like, Like, it's 10 o'clock. I'm already exhausted here. All right. No, we're not even close to being exhausted. Look at that, man. I mean, can you take a look at that? We said, okay, here we go. We said deuce. This is the most inappropriate meme for right now. The market is doing a lot right now, so we don't really want to necessarily wake it up too much here, man. I mean, I would like to keep a long bias here because we just got that bounce. You could see what a slight little move, and that had nothing to do with Jolts, man. It was going higher. The market was ripping there off that number, okay? Then all of a sudden, you get that little move down, and we could talk about Nucor. I really like that. I'm only starting to like Nucor more and more down here. I mean, this stock's been really beat up. I think this is best of breed for U.S. steel. Steel producers in the U.S. I'm not talking about U.S. steel as itself, but Nucor, nice little move to the upside again, as people need to buy American, right? If you're going to slap 25% more of a tariff onto Canadian steel, then you got to buy American. It's going to be more affordable. U.S. steel is this name, X. Again, the problem with X is, and there is no problem, you can see it's up 4.5% right on that news again, was the fact that there's that Nippon Steel deal there in Japan. So I'm not sure what the story is on that and what Trump's opinion is over there. I know that there has been some opinions, and maybe we should look into that. But I'm going to get out to some more TQs. It's the only trade that I'm looking at right now. Palantir, though, let's go. I don't want to get out of any more of this, man. The futures could rip, and this could be like a huge day. So we're back in 1.5 times goal right now. Palantir just bounced off 80 again. Wow. I mean, we nailed that level a couple times, man, but that was risky to be in there on that jobs number. But look at that 80. That's twice now. And if you are looking for some trade ideas, I have this posted every single day. Apple long. We're up on Apple. Apple's my #1 stock. TQs will be it after this. Intel, we have 21 short. Palantir, we have 80 short. That would have given you multiple dollars a couple times. 62.50 is where we looked at for the Qs, 98.50 for AMD. So 62.50 on the Qs, maybe we get there. And if we get there, then it is an oh boy day. Right now, we are 125 handles in right now on this trade. So, you know, we don't sit here and cry over spilled milk. We just get right back in it. This is the kind of confidence and the trading that you have to have if you're going to be a trader like myself or like Obi. Look at Obi. You've traded one symbol today, right? Yeah. Intel, and it's looking at it.
Maybe not the best stock selection, but
no. But I'm not. Yeah. Look, Obi, I don't even know if you're up or down. It doesn't matter. What I'm talking about is that staying specific to this trading style, looking at the trade, sticking with it, and just not giving up. And I think that's what we did here with the Qs. We got stopped out, but then we had that wick bottom. I love trading. If we can, who's over there? Fabian, yeah, no problem. I love trading that wick bottom there. I'm going to take that every time, no matter what the symbol, to be honest with you. So that's going to be a good look. We'll get some more out here at 29s, as it looks like we may be turning around a little bit. Yep. Let's see if we can hold those futures. For those of you that wonder, like, wow, this guy either talks a lot or has some caffeine situations, like Randy brought this to me like 20 minutes ago, and then it just gets cold sitting here.
Yeah, that's my issue as well.
I can barely feel my
What happened to that? No, you don't have that.
No, because I know I have it. It's over there.
There's no plug.
Niels has his there.
Yeah, he has it.
He doesn't. He was using it. I don't know what happened to it.
I see him use it sometimes. But.
No, and it's a plug reason, but we want to thank Obi. Thank you. That was a very kind gift, man. You always hear us bitching and complaining about the heat, and Obi got us these sort of portable warmers for the coffee, which I think have been working great. Rob told me I can't plug it in over here because it might short everything.
Oh, boy.
So...
I mean,
anyways, maybe I should just take it home.
I mean, we should have shorted everything here.
Yeah, we definitely should have shorted the market. Good call.
On that pop and drop. But yeah, I'm kind of just observing this this NASDAQ here, 19 halves kind of, I'm watching that. That was kind of this level where we kind of held above, held below, a bit of an average area here. So just seeing if we hold above or below going off into the open there. We had that Jolts number come out, so the catalyst is definitely in on the day. And what other catalyst might we have today? I'm just looking at the calendar right here. So today is Tuesday. So yeah, no more economic numbers for the rest of the day here. So Jolts was pretty much the only one. So gonna pack our patience and wait for the next trade. But yeah, until then, you guys let me know, what have you guys been trading? Did you guys play that shake and bake on the market there? What was that on the screen just now? Tired of winning it? Yes, let's go. But yeah, Apple catching a little bit of a bounce off of 220. 220.02 is the low on Apple. Softy is pretty strong as well. Softy to the upside. We did break through that pre-market high, guys, and we've made a high at 383 halves, trading at 382. currently as of right now, but Amazon with a little bit of a pullback as well. Tesla, it did pull back all the way into VWAP and maybe a little bit more, but reclaiming and holding VWAP as of right now. There goes the market back below that 19.5 right here. People talking about they shorted SMCI. Let's take a quick look at SMCI here. You know what? I already have it up, surprisingly enough. I had it up already because I was like, yeah, oh boy, that's pretty strong there, coming right back into VWAP. But let's see, if does it hold VWAP? This action is a little bit different than yesterday, but yesterday kind of a chop sideways. Let's see if we kind of just chop sideways for the rest of the day here on SMCI as well. Market taking a pullback right there. It goes back below that 19.5 level, Sean. So yeah, bit of a chop here. Still trading within the opening range for a lot of names here, but some names more stronger than others. Just being patient and waiting for the next trade. And yeah, maybe a little bit of a cheeky dabble here on Intel because I am curious about that $20 level. Maybe I'm too anchored to it. I'll admit, I might be a little anchored to it.
Nothing wrong with being anchored. Nothing wrong with being anchored, my guy. Fabian, could you test my earpiece just quickly there for a minute? I think I might have just. We're good to go. Thank you, my guy. Wow, what a soft, silky voice there. Very, very romantic. I mean, you do have a face for radio, but you also do have a voice for one as well. So, shout out to Fabian. That was kind of like a shot at him. Not really. I mean, the guy's super handsome. Ejected.
Oh boy.
Right there. Oh man, the things we do for this show. All right. Yeah, I didn't. We just. Not liking that market pullback at all. We'll get out another piece right there of the futures. Wow. Yeah, just the reason why I asked about the earpiece, because I want to make sure that we are connected to anything and everything. Trump, tariff, all of that related, very, very key spots right now. I'm really glad that we've added the TQs. And for those of you that are wondering about the TQQ, it's just trading the NASDAQ. This is what the futures look like. I've done this before. So we have live level 2. And by the way, trading here at Real Trading, you have over 60 plus markets. So that's like, if you want to trade futures, and I'll go over the top traders from yesterday in a couple minutes once the market slows down a bit, but this is what the futures look like. So we can trade NASDAQ futures. Wow, nice move down right there in the futures. Look at this. We are collapsing right now in the CME. Yeah, so you could see, oh, and a little bit of a bounce back. So quite different trading this as opposed to the way this looks. So I've always been studied equities, level 2s, stock windows here at Real Trading for equities. So that's Palantir. This is what the TQs, I don't know why I just flipped back to Palantir, but this is what the TQs look like. Very similar to stock, because it is. That is what it is. It's an ETF basically, right there, triple levered against the NASDAQ. So that just goes to show you that I prefer that, the look of that, as opposed to the way the futures are trading, where again, I'm just, each one of these ticks, just hard for me to watch it. It just looks a lot different than what I'm looking at and used to here with the NASDAQ. So that's my thing about that and why we trade it. Also the fact that we get rebates when you're trading. So I do think about it. Like I'm now trading, like the default is a little bit lower. We're like in the hundreds instead of in the thousands or anything like that. But it does make, even if you take 100 shares, and it's not that many shares, but if you take 100 shares and you trade it with gateways properly, you make $2 per trade just by getting the rebate, right, roughly. So that can add up. If you make 50 trades a day and you get $2 instead of paying $2, that's a $200 difference on the day, right? So that's the difference for me about trading futures versus trading equity. And I'm just talking about 100 shares there, not more than that. And when you start trading a little bit more, then you do realize that fees are pretty important. So I know a lot of you might be trading with YouTube. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Yep. With Robinhood or Wealthsimple or something, where here in Canada, where some of the trades may be free, but those trades are routed out, and we can talk about that for days, I feel like. But at the end of the day, everybody just do them, but that's why I'm choosing the TQs instead of the futures. So sometimes we do get questions about that, and I think it was, you had mentioned Chill Vibes in the chat. He was on SQQ. So SQQ is just the other way around. So this is a pro short Brazil. A pro short ETF. So it's just a little bit cheaper of a price there, but we'll give you the same. We'll give you the same return. So SQQ versus TQQ, right? I mean, today, obviously with the market being where it is, this is what SQQ is doing, and then the TQQ is as well. So I'm just having a problem with my level 2s, Obi, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Is it similar to that kind of laggy thing that was happening yesterday?
Yeah, well, there is a new version that I did not download.
Ooh, okay. I was wondering, like last night I wasn't able to log in, but yeah.
Weren't able to log in?
No, after like 4:30, 4:45.
Right, you won't be able to.
No, I usually like the data cuts off at like 5.
Oh, okay.
But I went back to my desk because I wanted to take a couple more screenshots of some of the trades from the day, and I couldn't log in. But thankfully, I had got most of the screenshots that I wanted on the day there, so worked out. But yeah, no, maybe you know, X was down yesterday. I was like, maybe there's like a mass cybersecurity thing happening, but no, maybe I was just tripping there. But XPEV coming right back in to its VWAP. So again, I'm looking for this to kind of to see what it does around here. Strong push off of the open, pulls back, reverts to VWAP. So reversion to VWAP trade worked out beautifully there. And yeah, I wasn't really involved in that one, but currently holding this 26 level on top of VWAP. So let's see if we get that bid back in for that potential continuation here on XPEV. Other tickers that I am also watching are Tesla. Tesla is catching a little bit of a pullback and down into its VWAP. ExxonMobil, I was looking for that breakout and breaking out. It is definitely not on the day with it kind of getting crushed. Coles also a bit of a mistrade on my part, as again, that anchored VWAP comes in and that continuation coming in real nice, both on Oracle and on Coles. Robinhood finally catching a little bit of a sell after making a high of day at 38.30. So let's take a quick look at Hood and see what's good here on this ticker. So yeah, strong kind of a wick there on the 3-minute, pulling us back into this VWAP area, 36.75. So that's that pre-market area. And again, I was talking about maybe some selling here in the 37.30s. That's where I had my alert. We went all the way to 38.30, so about a point away from that. But this consolidation as of right now, gonna stay patient and see how that kind of brings it in here. Here's a bid coming in back into the market here, but that 19.5, Sean, let's see. That might be a little bit of an over/under indicator for me, just to give a little bit of direction. But how much do I weight it? I don't know just yet. But let's see how well this market holds up. The only one really that is holding the bid right now, Sean, is Microsoft. Microsoft is very, very strong. So let's go take a look at Softy. Would you look at that? 3-minute candles straight to the upside. Look at the 5-minute chart here as well. Very, very strong push that we got right off of that the Jolts number, and it did not pull back to its day low like a lot of these other tickers did off of that number there. So still holding, still consolidating near its highs of the day. Let's see if we can. It's attempting to hold prior day's opening range lows as resistance, but this uptrend on the day. Let's see if we can kind of push through that and break out on Softy. The only Mag 7 really that's holding a bid. But let's see what the small caps are up to with Adara.
Nice little rounded top here for the IWM yesterday. Lots of chop once those. We had to kind of push to the downside. Then we had some pre-market chop. Now here pushing to the downside for the IWM, much like the rest of the market. Right now, though, trying desperately to hold, excuse me, into that $200 level, which we did actually break below yesterday during the day. Here's the HSI group. This is HSAI. This one here up nicely near day's highs around $23. Announced that they secured a multi-year deal with Mercedes with regards to supplying LiDAR sensors. Then we have RAY. Could not find the catalyst here for Raytech Holdings, but nice look for this stock. Currently trading around $2. Last but not least, SYRS. This is a penny stock. I mentioned this one earlier. Still near day's highs. Very few red candles for this one on the 3-minute. No news here for Syros Pharmaceuticals either. They do have about a $6 million market cap and a 23 million share float, guys. Back to you.
Hey, thanks, Adara, for some of those small caps. All right, so
too many moving around today.
Yeah, no. Okay, so just real quickly here. I just got back into Nvidia, but like we sold that move back on the market. Any kind of a pop up, like if we can get that, even though it's not going to be our ideal price, like you always want the market to go higher to get back to where we are or shorter, wherever you are. But at the end of the day, you have to respect price movement. And you'd said that earlier, Obi. It's like, we'll just let price determine what we're going to be wind up doing here. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing, trying to play off these futures right here. We saw how aggressive the moves can be when we start talking about tariffs and everything like that. So we are well aware that this tariff talk is not going to stop. Obviously, President Trump has been speaking this morning as we had that news about the steel and then extra 25% on, and that's because of what Ontario's been doing and what Canada's been doing about talking about the energy prices there and putting another percentage on that, or shutting down upstate New York and all this kind of stuff. So tit for tat, I hate it, but it is part of what this new administration wants to do, right? All right, we're not actually, I just realized that this price is a little bit off. That 200 period moving average, okay, it's still close enough. We're basically right there right now. 107, like 64 if we break that. I just thought to try Nvidia again down here. We're still up on the stock. I don't know if it is going to work off of these levels. We should have just maybe averaged in a little bit there, but at the we did, but at the end of the day, this stop is only now into the 60s. So here it comes in right now, and there it's the stop again. So unfortunately, man, we just gave you a little bit of a long there on Nvidia that did not. Don't even tell me it didn't work there. And I'm gonna get back in 1 unit against 50s right now, just in case it doesn't go. This is why it's important that I always tell you if we're green or red on something, because we do take multiple shots on these stocks. Here it goes, breaking through 107.50 again. So we're long right now at 66.55, 66 halves. So it looks like we'll take a 20-cent hit. We can get out for flat right now, but I think it's worth a little bit of a bounce here if it does go, but it doesn't look like it wants to. So, all right, how did we just get stopped there on Nvidia? That's not even possible. What just happened there? Okay. All right, we'll go back in. I don't know what happened there. All right, let's see if we can get back to the upside here. Small position as we'll reload some Nvidia right now. The futures have come back in as well. So we're still there, man. We're still at our daily goal, but we have given it back. We were at 2 times at one point there, and that was during this huge move up. Which is not happening anymore. We'll try one more against this bottom, but again, we're just trying to play price action. And yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to win on this one, right? I mean, the futures keep coming down here. Look at that. Look at that. Huge move. Wow. Huge move in right now, man, in the market. So, yeah, we're getting clapped out right now. But here we go, man. Let's see if it wants to hold. We're back into the TQs. We do have our stop down there at that low. If it holds it, great, but we're just flushed pretty good there on the NASDAQ. So, yeah, things getting nastier and nastier here in futures land, that's for sure. We're not giving too much back here. We're fighting Nvidia against 107. It looks like that's going to break as well. The day went from good to pretty bad if you were long. So we're going to just continue to hold out hope that it does bounce up, but we do have our risk management in place. So if the futures do crack, then we know where we're at. So far, so good there. But yeah, not the longs that we had hoped for early, Obi. So let's get out of a little bit here if we can on these futures. We talked about playing plays back in. So we're long right now. We're long at 07s. We just took some out there at 15s. Having long eyelashes is a blessing and a curse, but
yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, so all right, there we go, man. Nvidia, nice little bounce there off of 107. We'll see if it can hold.
Yeah, so we are trending to the downside here on Intel, pulling back into those 19 halves. So yeah, a little bit of trouble here, holding on to the long idea. No real bid coming in. So yeah, I was talking about price action, this, that, and the other, but I'm not even listening to the price action here. Is what I realized. I'm just like, oh boy, yeah, we kind of we were holding that $20 level as a bit of resistance. So it kind of continues to hold as a resistance. VWAP held as well, and then now we're pulling back into some prior levels below that prior day low.
Just go short everything.
We kind of, yeah, exactly. I'm just like, okay, so at what point do I want to just flip biases and kind of look for the push back down? And it seems like VWAP was the place to be, man. And right now, not really working out is this Intel's long. So yeah, definitely the short was the play there. That shake and bake off of the Jolts definitely gave us some signals to be like, all right, well, the bid is continuing to get sold into on pretty much across the board there, and that definitely needs to be a little respected. So I'm going to continue watching that one there, but yeah, oh boy, Intel coming in real hot, all the way 19 halves now, Sean. So not the best decision. Oh boy, there's like 3,000 lots there on 19 halves. So those guys got taken out, I think, right there as we pulled back into those levels. So, oh boy, this market's coming to the downside here. You got any shorts on?
No.
Oh boy.
I mean, we had talked about that, right, and trying to look for. We're still long the futures. All right, so the one trade we talked about Amazon. Amazon's actually holding out on this right now, up 0.5 right now, so up 0.5% at the 200 period moving average. You know, like this to me looks like a long. We like playing 200 period moving averages, but maybe the short's just getting started on this name. If you sort of rethink about what you're looking at, right? Like, why are we looking long when the short is right here? Like, there's Nvidia, there's Amazon now breaking lower. Meta was trying to hold 6 bills again, I believe. It's right here, right now. It looks like it wants to give that up to the downside as well. So, yeah, man. And what's been a turnaround Tuesday here? We thought the futures were going to go, and then it was no. All right, so let's just look at the TQs a little bit more here because we did have that big long and then we just lost it there. Looking at what we were talking about from yesterday here, I'm going to call this down here on a 5-minute chart. There it is. That's 58. So that bottom could be something to look at there. Bottom from yesterday that we bounced off of. Let's try. I mean, do we even want to try that? This is pretty bad right now, man. It's a nice downside play. That is for sure. And it's not looking any better, Obi. So I guess you're going to wait for 58 if you're going to do anything on the TQQs. I think we'll try that. We'll put a bid down there and then just get out if it does break that level. But let me just look to see what exactly that level was. We should be looking short, though, man. That AMD, 57.88. All right, we can do that. We can give this about 20 handles worth of room. So let's put a bid at like 58.11 and just see, and then we'll put our stop at 57, that bottom from yesterday, 57.84. So we'll try that on the TQs. We do know that we wanted Palantir short, off 80. So there's Palantir right here. I mean, we wrote down Palantir 80 once, twice, thrice, 76. Sometimes you let your bias a little bit take effect there, I feel like, you know, when you're looking at these names, like we should have been short Palantir there and we weren't. So just really stupidity by me on that one. We just should have took that short. We didn't. So yeah, yuck on that one. Any other bouncing possibilities?
No, I'm like the only one strong right here, like I said before, is that softy. That softy is still continuing to hold its own there and just consolidating at that 382, 383 mark on softy. So that is pretty much the strong one there. XPEV did pull back quite significantly off of that. So, oh boy, is that reversion really coming in nicely as of right now. So 25.74s here, guys. So 25.74s all the way back in. So couldn't really hold that VWAP that I was looking for there on XPEV for that continuation. So it seems like that was the trade. And now beautiful continuation to the downside, almost back to its opening prices down in the 25s. 25.30s, I think, was opening price. Yeah, 25.25 I have specifically as the opening price here on XPEV. So that kind of coming in as of right now as well. Markets tanking to the downside off of that 19.5, maybe a little bit of a bounce off of that 19.300 as of right now, but let's see if there's going to be continuation. Like we said before, it seems like all the pops just keep getting sold into, Sean. So absolutely wild here. Let's see if this little bit of a bid can come in. But yeah, if there is a place to get long, Sean, I think it would be on softy because look at that, kind of very, very strong on the day. Very distinctly different than some of these other names here. We can look at Tesla. We can look at Nvidia. Look at that Tesla reversion all the way back in on Tesla. So that's absolutely wild there. So that's selling definitely still dominant on the day. Apple, we'll take a look at that one as well. So Apple comes back into VWAP, maybe now taking a little bit of a pullback here. So 222s as of right now on Apple, taking a pullback. But let's see what crypto is up to with Adara.
Crypto actually at a very interesting level here. There's a little bit of intraday support on Sunday for BTC here, just above that 80,000 level, around 80,000. Right now, we're back near that 80,000 level for crypto, which interestingly enough here, we mentioned this earlier, but tons of liquidations yesterday, unsurprisingly, as crypto dropped along with the rest of the market here. $939 million worth of liquidations across the crypto market in 24 hours. Bitcoin here, about $315.44 million worth of market cap losses. Let's take a look here at the daily chart here for Bitcoin. And this is the look, this is still very much a rounded top here for BTC, now making its lowest low in quite some time here on that daily chart. Bitcoin here, marginally up on the day, still around the 80,000 level, but Ethereum here quite weak, down about 7%. We have XRP relatively flat, BNB relatively flat, Solana only down about 1%, Cardano up about 2%. So the performances here are much more divergent than what we were seeing yesterday with just consistent selling across the board in crypto. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, guys. Back to you.
Guys, also do like and subscribe to the stream, but also scan that QR code below because Real Trading is back on with their campus programs. So if you want to trade real money and gain real experience, this is only available to those located outside the continental USA. But definitely hit your hit the QR code there, and it's trading U.S. equities, so you can get involved, learn our platform. We often get questions about what platform are we on, what are we using to execute our trade, so on and so forth. So all those questions will be answered, and you'll be able to join us, with trading like I was talking about, the futures, many of these plays coming through. There's over 60 markets here, but get started with Real Trading Campus. Again, curated lists. The platform is there for you, and everybody's ready to rock and roll. So yeah, we're really excited about that and be able to offer it to you. So, check it out. It's Real Trading Campus, different phases, guiding you through everything. It's not like, some of those other prop ideas that are out there where you pay a certain fee, and then they just let you blow your $500 and then you log in again and blow it again, and then so on and so forth. This is the real deal. So join us here at Real Trading, and make sure you do scan that QR code and get that ready to rock and roll. We want to thank Real Trading for, again, giving me a job and a career. I've been here now for 20 plus years, wore many, many hats, and by far the most fun we've had is right here with you guys. So, yeah, it's been a good one. It's been a good little adventure for us all, and we are just getting started. So, thank you for watching, and thanks, Obi, for always putting on a good show. We do have, obviously, we missed Sharif yesterday on the midday. He's back today, so we're excited for that. Joe and Adara hold fort, but the boss man is here, so we're ready to go for that one here today at 11 o'clock. So even though there's only a half hour left in this stream, it will flip over to the other one, and you'll join Joe and Sharif. So that's always a good time. So make sure you do that. And then Obi and I will be back for the closing show between 2 to 4 p.m. Then we have a market recap show after that. Plus follow us. I believe we're streaming a little bit on TikTok every once in a while. We're doing Instagram posts. We have some fun things going. We tweeted out some stuff with O'Leary and put that up on Instagram as well. So yeah, please make sure you are liking and subscribing. And yeah, we had over 10,000 people watching earlier, just about 10,000 now, and 1.4K likes. So let's see if we can get that up to 2,000. That would be pretty nice if we could do that, man. Yeah, pump those likes up, and then you'll pump up the market a little bit. My newest position, although we do not stay, addicted to the futures there because they haven't necessarily been treating us that well. We do look at Amazon. Yeah. So we looked at that bouncing off some levels. We do trade Amazon right now. So that's the name that I'm involved with here. And yeah, not looking okay, right? Not looking bad, but at the same time, we'll have to wait to see what exactly is happening here with Amazon because it's bouncing off the 200 period moving average, and we've taken some outs in the 40s. That's the best we've gotten. So let's see if it wants to go a little bit higher here. AMZN, hopefully for the win. And looking for a little bit lower of a price. We'll average into 195.50, and then if we lose 195, guys, we are out of there on AMZN. So not trying to take too much risk here on Amazon, but at the same time, it dripped down. It's a long stock today, it looks like. It's up 0.7. If we can get some good prices, then we like it. So we've already got a little bit out there. We should possibly also go short on something.
I'm looking for the next trade, man.
Right.
Like, all right, well, I definitely lost on Intel. That $20 level, that level hold was worth playing against on the short, and it didn't really pop. I kind of showed us on that Jolts. Like, we did break that 20, and then it gets slammed right back in on the shake and bake, and then holds VWAP with lower highs. So this is what that chart looks like here, a little bit clearer. You can see right there, boom, 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 boom. Every single pop kind of getting sold into. So I'm definitely wrong on that ticker there as the market continues to push a little bit lower here. So Nvidia as well, you can see kind of breaking back below that opening range low here on Nvidia. So the market's definitely, let's see if we catch this bid, man.
Nice little move up there for Amazon, and how you can get a lot of these moves is simply by charting them. You can scan that QR code below there and get first month free from eSignal. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite experience with the eSignal platform, man. Analyze, strategize. Some of these trades that we're looking at, they're coming off scanners. I think eSignal has very reliable data, very reliable scanners. I've been using them for many, many years. Lightning fast. It's not like you have to wait for these signals to come through. They coming in there. You can also chart things on the OTC markets. We may have Jeffrey Mendel coming through at some point here, maybe today. And again, you want to talk about, we had Michael Noss on talking about the strength in European banks, things like that. All of these are available all through the scanner. You can clearly see that on the screen. Make sure you do support eSignal, scan it out, see if you like the platform. If not, it's only 1 month, and then you can cancel it. So again, the all-in-one platform, connect to your brokers, and it's those scanners that really make a difference to us over here. So again, hit the eSignal like and subscribe to our platform, and make sure you do subscribe to eSignal. Here's a scanner right here telling me that, wow, AMD, let's get rid of that, Fabian, and then we'll go over here. Look at Intel showing up here, Nvidia, Palantir. These are the top scanners on the trade rate, and what that's going to show you are stocks that are really doing outsized volume. It's not volume, sorry, outsized trades coming through right now as the market's hitting lower. Tesla, there's my TQs, there's Palantir. This is why I get a lot of these names. IBIT we haven't actually looked at today. Down there now below 80,000 now for crypto and for Bitcoin. So another movement to the downside, man. Down we go on the market. Level 2 downside right now. Wave 2, I should say. Sorry, level 2 is what I stare at every day. But there it is. We do got an average price now of Amazon of 60. So we're 10 cents out on it. But I'm holding to 195, man, and it looks like it's going to get a little bit nastier down here near 195. So, oh boy, Obi, you looked at me and said, what shorts do I have? I said nothing and laughed. Yeah, we should have just been short Amazon. Like, just flip over your positions, right? All right, here we go. We're long into Amazon.
Yeah, no, that Nvidia, man. I have a question for you. How probable do you think that 100 mark can be today? Because we're trading at 105s right now.
Very.
111s are the highs, and Nvidia back down towards prior day low right here. 104.92s trading on Nvidia right now. So let's see if it can hold that 105 level. We talked about that 19.3 on the NASDAQ. That's broken down as well. Almost, what is this, four red consecutive red candles on the 15-minute. 4 red consecutive 15-minute candles.
I like that.
On the NASDAQ. So let's see. How much more time is left for this candle to close? About 5.5 minutes-ish, 6 minutes on this candle.
Brennan's
so
pissed.
we gotta wait for that one to close to see if this continues here. But yeah, I think that we were talking about this morning, and I kind of a fumble on my part, Sean, just being like, all right, well, sellers are definitely in charge. All the pops are getting sold to, and then I'm trying to get long on like whenever the selling kind of stops. So that's maybe not the best way to go today. But yeah, kind of maybe sometimes I got to follow my own plan and listen to what I'm saying instead of just being like, oh, okay, well, maybe I want to take it back into 20 to see if we continue to sell off of that level there. So yeah, absolutely crazy market here.
I mean, Palantir short at 80 was following the plan. That's now $5 in the money. I mean, as we go. But here we go. Obi, we are now huge on, not huge, but Amazon's trying to go. So we'll wait to see if we can get some love here for AMZN back into the 80s. We did average that in. So good price action so far for Amazon for us. Let's wait to see. We get some out in the 80s there. We did buy that dip into 95. And again, I just want to say to everybody, the reason why we bought that dip was because Amazon was strong on the day. I'm not just trying to go long random stocks here. We already tried the futures. Clearly the futures aren't working out here today. I mean, look, the futures are fine, but we took too many dips on that one. And then when you dip, I dip, we dip. And that's never a great sign. So there goes the futures. Good thing we got out of it. That is for sure. So as
go to Sean's screen.
Yeah, we're on the wrong. Yeah. Almost the right one.
Boom.
Almost the right one.
Me.
Almost the right one.
Next.
There it is. Thank you, Fabian, for that one. But yeah, no, what we were talking about there was buying these dips into Amazon and then just getting them out as we started to rip back upside here, and then taking, what we were sort of talking about here and not being overly stubborn, right? I mean, we don't need to get the best prices. Like right here, I'm long at 33s. I'm taking them out at 53s. That's only 20 cents. My stop is going to be breaking down through 95s, but we'll take what we can get. You know, I feel like this is like I'm back with my Nona there, and she's serving me some pasta, and I'm like, I've had enough. She's like, no, have some more. Right there, you take whatever's there for you. Maybe many of you haven't had Italian or the grandmothers there that just basically feed you everything at all times right there. But okay, shout out to everybody that's long right now. Let's see if we can hold some of these bids. DXY is, or Starbucks is still dying. Starbucks was a great call. We called this at 115 as the short, not understanding why it was still up here. Now you can see Amazon, Starbucks really trying to take down $100. Never understood that one, but now it makes more sense as we pull right back in on China worries and tariffs and weak consumer. You never know where your bread's going to be buttered, but I do know that Adair is waiting at the big screen. Still my coffee.
We have this board looking distinctly different from yesterday. Yesterday, if you recall, the market sold off pretty heavily, but a lot of these sectors were green. Today, slightly red on the day, but a lot of these sectors very red. Communications weak, transportation, process industries, producer manufacturing, commercial services, consumer services, energy minerals, consumer non-durables, health tech, finance, and we go on. But of course, these tech names, pretty weak, but interestingly enough, not as so as some of these other tickers here. So Microsoft, Netflix, Cisco actually, CRM actually green here for technology services. And electronic technology has Broadcom holding the fort green, though pretty much every other name in this ticker, especially the larger ones, are sharply red. So interesting look here, very different from what we saw yesterday. We're really seeing now what I think is interesting, selling across the market today, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, we're seeing selling across the market. We've been seeing selling across the market. I think Sharif was mentioning there for Tesla's basically had 5 or 6 straight red weeks, which hasn't been nice. So we have to absorb that. And now the market just continues to bleed, man. We're already at the 200 period moving average on the NASDAQ, below it, quite frankly. Okay, there's Starbucks. Sorry, I meant to look at this again. Amazon. All right, so we take what we can get, right? And now we're starting to go a little bit back up to the upside. We did take some more out there, but here we go. Maybe Amazon does give us that juice. I'm looking for VWAP. I have a few more offers. I have them, 195.95. So if we can get close enough, this is making our day a little bit here. So let's just try to get a little bit more shares out. All right, here we go on Amazon. We'll see if we can get back into the 90s, and then we'll see if we can moon just a little bit higher than that. So yeah, so far so good here on a little bit of a pullback for AMZN. There it goes. Yes, sir. That's a nice one. Uh-oh, get rid of that. We have too many Americans watching. Right there, we'll drop down some money instead. No matter where you're from, you would probably appreciate cash.
Yes, no, this is absolutely wild here. I'm kind of just continuing to watch this Nvidia, and I think the idea of that 100 is definitely a little enticing here. 104.77s is the current day low, and we've been kind of accelerating since that consolidation underneath VWAP. That strong selling took us through that day low as well, coming into some of these prior pre-market after hours levels there. 104.41. I don't know what the low on or what the price action on Blue Ocean was overnight, but yeah, I got to see what some of the prices visited there were. Maybe just to get an idea, a perspective at what the ticker might have done overnight. But yeah, looking at the chip sector, man, we kind of talked about that SMCI being the only one that was really being bought up. Guess what? It's back down, and maybe not as down as Nvidia, because Nvidia has already broken through its day low. But yeah, look at this consolidation, 37 halves currently on SMCI. So we're going to be patient for that one to see if that one can give us something, maybe a lower high, maybe that VWAP for that continuation. But it is getting to almost the midday session here, 10:45. So let's see if this strong selling catches any sort of a turn here on the market. A lot of things very, very directional. I'm looking at some of the sectors here. We just kind of looked at the sectors with Adara, but yeah, everything pretty much getting sold off here for the most part. So gonna have that on watch. Nothing else too crazy. Missed the shorts off of the open, but let's see if we can catch a bit of a continuation during the midday. XPEV was absolutely beautiful as well. Kind of one of the tickers that missed my radar in the pre-market, but Absolutely beautiful morning drive, opening range break, kind of a reversion as well, right back in, still holding above some of those reference prices. Very, very strong on these robotics and on the. Is it robotics or what's the proper word there? Humanoid robots. That's what I'm looking for. So humanoid robots catalyst there for XPEV, which makes me question, what is a rich tech robotics doing? Okay, maybe not so much volume. I know this one was kind of moving around over the past couple of weeks or past couple of months as well. A little bit of a theme that was happening. You go to a higher time frame, you can see the journey that it's been on. So okay, yeah, right here. So you can see a decent chunk of the end of 2025. We ran up like crazy, and it's been backside since about January. So the beginning of the year marked the top on this robotics name, and I know a lot of people were talking about this one, and steady lower lows and lower highs on this name. Bit of a backside move on rich tech robotics. So XPEV catching a little bit of a different kind of price action today on maybe on its own catalyst, but a lot of these tickers just straight to the downside. Even oil, man, XOM straight to the downside. Coles is printing 962s right now, so that held. We got below that $10 level, and some of these prices, Sean, like I said, haven't been seen. Well, these prices definitely haven't been seen since 1996. I don't even remember what I was doing in 1996. I don't know.
Yeah, I was almost graduated high school at that point. All right, so what was that?
What was that?
Some of our graphics are getting a little wonky, but all right. So, yeah, we're out of more than half of this Amazon trade. Let's look at something else. Let's look at Rigetti. You just mentioned some of the lower price names there, and some of the gapping plays and whatnot. I mean, we've looked at Big Bear AI. That's down at $3. Again, we'll have a look there, see if it's actually cracking lower. This thing about Rigetti on the quantum space, we've saw it hold that 6 before. And that's what we actually went long at 6 that one day. I'm thinking this looks like a decent bottom here for some of the quantum names. I mean, if the market is going to bounce back, potentially, you're going to get some nice moves here, which is part of why we went in. Like Big Bear AI is never going to work when, it's below $3. Like Palantir is getting crushed right now, right? So some of these AI plays and data-driven names that were all the rage, definitely not right now. Look, I have 500 shares $2 away from here. So, we're stuck $1,000 on this name right here, Big Bear AI, as we wait for that. It's a couple tires right there, right? So, downside play there. We've lost a couple Model Ys in the long-term account over the last couple months, but that's just what happens when you're trading and holding on to everything. That's sometimes not the greatest strategy, but at the end of the day, we're trying to play this for the long haul. The thing we've had some luck on, we talked about that, making 5 trades, 5 bets in a row here, watching out for some of the hockey plays and whatnot. But DraftKings has definitely pulled back. This is an interesting name for me too, because we had missed this boat before down here, right? We talked about $36, $37. Then when it went whoop, we were like, oh man, I can't believe we missed it. Well, all right, now you have that opportunity again to get right back. Okay, we just got a sweet trade there on Amazon. It came back into 195, so I'm taking some more outs right here. As here we go, man. Let's go Amazon. Let's go. Maybe we do get a nice play into the upside there. Gets them out in the 50s. We just loaded. Okay, yeah. We just got some more downside right there. This is exactly how we crushed Palantir yesterday by getting in at the bottom, taking some plays out here, watching it move back up there to the upside, then just scalping it out. So we go bottom to 200 period. Oh boy, that's going to be a trade that we're going to have to get out of, which we just did. So a nice little move backside there on Amazon, trying to play that low. It looks like, how low can you go? Well, if it goes below 195, then we're out. So we already know that answer for ourselves. So let's scalp a little bit out. Next offers here in the 60s. Then we have one in the 90s. So there it is. Yes, there's our 60 fill. So that was pretty good. Now let's wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, how low can we go is a great question on the day like today.
We have an answer.
And not even on a day like today. We kind of talk about for the past 3 weeks, Sean.
Yes, sir.
We've been selling off quite aggressively. So I kind of want to take a look at that here on the ES. If
shorty,
it's gonna let
it's
me
your
pull
birthday.
it up here. All right, cool. So we'll go to a weekly chart on the ES and take a look. Would you take a look at this? So expanding bars with expanding volume, and this week's volume, if we're gonna kind of continue in the expanding volume, we've still got about 3 days left on this for this week to finish. And if this week is going to have more volume than next week, oh boy, I think that can definitely come in with some prior support breaks. This 5.5 looks quite interesting right here as well. Some strong bid. Was that August 8th? August 5th. Yes, that's the August 5th bid as well. What was that low? I'm curious as to what low that was, because that was a little. That is a little bit of a capitulatory move there on that day there. So low was 524.75. So let's say about 5,250, right? So around that 5,250 area, and we're trading at 556. So 550. So let's say 5,550. So about 250-ish points left to go there, or $250-ish left to go to get down to that low. But can we even get there? That's the question. Or are we going to get a strong bid up? We can see that this has been kind of holding this trend throughout a lot of down, downtrending price action that we've gotten in 2022. And maybe drop as well. We're coming down to some of those support levels.
There's this one club that we really, really like. And, you know, I know Joe and I talked about we couldn't really figure out where the industry was going on Monday nights.
Yes.
But the market's going into dollar club level here again. So we're at $1.50 now in the money on this Amazon trade, and almost back to our high of the day for myself. Like, so out of all that nonsense that we did on the Qs, after everything that we've done, it's Amazon. It is your one. It is the only. It is the one that delivers packages to our house quite frequently. I got home last night, had a package there. A half hour later, we had another package. But anyways, my daughter bought this. It's a ring, it's a friendship, whatever these things are called, rainbow loom bracelet making machine. So right there. So it is rainbow loom, right?
Rainbow loom?
Cool. But there's a machine that loads them. Yeah. So that's what it is. So there it is, man. So we got that made up for us. Yeah, but anyways, there it is, man. $1.70 now in the money for Amazon. We can breathe now a sigh of relief because we are right back where we need to be for our day, almost at our 2-time goal. Let's get another piece out there. Why is my phone company phoning me? I already paid that bill, or maybe I didn't. That's the one thing. You put I just put all the bills on automatic payment. Right. Sometimes they give you like a little bit of a discount, and then I literally never have to worry about it until I open up the Visa, and then I go, what the hell? But there it is. Nice move up.
Adds up.
Now, strong bid. Yeah, exactly. Now a strong move up on Amazon, man. Unfortunately, we don't have enough left, but we don't need a lot left. It's a big move there. It's now almost $2. It is now $2 in the money. Amazon, if it breaks, there it goes, breaking through 197. Again, a name that we gave to you, and a name that made a lot of sense to me going long. We talked about it being up on the day against a weak market. If the market ever rallied, then it was an oh boy situation for us right there, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Go Amazon. Nice upside play right here.
Yes, sir. So, tried the long, didn't work. And then tried the short, and then now that's not working either. So I'm a little disconnected, not really making the best decisions off of the open there. But again, where is the next trade is what I'm asking, and more than willing to kind of try out some other ideas here. So don't forget to like and subscribe, because we're bringing you the action as it rolls in this market, rolling to the downside. So let's see what Adair has to say about that.
This is the US dollar here, and we're in a little bit of, at least as of this move down that we had today so far, it looks a little bit bear flaggish for the USD, but we do have strong support here in the 5-minute chart at 103.30. Let's take a look at the daily here. That was just the intraday look. The daily, we are on a 7-day losing streak for the DXY, and again, continuing here to push it to the support at that 103.40, looking like what Tariff calls the hockey stick pattern, the sharp move to the downside, then a bit of consolidation near lows. This does not look, no matter what you call it or no matter how you slice it, it does not look like a great look here for the DXY. Canadian dollar to the US dollar here, also taking a tumble. This is on the daily chart. We know that we are going to have these steel increases here. 50% tariffs for aluminum and steel. Donald Trump calling Canada one of the highest tariffing countries ever. So keep an eye here on the Canadian dollar to the US dollar. Also here, keep an eye on this CME Fed Watch tool as Sean mentioned it's a very important one to be aware of, especially heading into a Fed meeting. 97% chance right now that we are expecting 0 rate change. So no cut, no hike for the market. And this actually went up a little bit. Yesterday it was 96%. 1 week ago it was 92%. But then a month ago it was 95%. So this number has been a little bit dynamic, but it's generally been at least 90% of participants are not expecting any rate cut or hike. We did get a slightly higher than expected Jolts job openings print. We're going to getting CPI and PPI Wednesday and Thursday respectively. So lots of economic data to be aware of before we get the Fed, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, we are very, very excited for the next couple of days. I mean, I could see, and I was thinking about this too, like, what is the positioning people want to be ahead of these inflation numbers, right? I mean, I think flat is probably the safest, obviously, but you know, like I said, if we are in that rate cutting cycle, I could see some people maybe gearing up to get a little long ahead of those numbers. So we'll just wait. I don't think that's a wise thing to do, is try to predict these things. Again, price action will tell us what to do. Come at 8:30 the next couple of days, and we'll be live and showing you those numbers rate up. You mentioned Nvidia down to 105. Well, first of all, you're short Intel, so that could be another one there. And again, having the ability to go, you were initially looking long, now you're short. I mean, that happens. We always flip up on some names. So that 105 was a great call out for a hold. But there it is, right back up into the 200 period moving average. Many of these names probably worth a fade, is all I can say right now. We are out of, so again, we've traded about, we didn't trade too many shares here on Amazon in total, about 700 or 800. We only have a small piece left now, as I believe we probably have under 10% left of what we had at the very bottom there. So again, just like yesterday, we were planting some purple flowers. It's been working out for us. Red flowers. It's been working out for us there. There's the plant, there's the grow, all the way to the upside. Hold on a second.
More selling.
Short idea. Yeah, so BBAI now, somebody out with a short report on Big Bear AI, but that report, obviously, if it's just hitting my ear right now, it's, you know, the algos would have hit that, and I don't see it really moving too much. But you heard it here first, potentially. There is a short report. If Adara sees it or thinks it's any relevant, she'll bring it. But it's not really moving around right now. I did not recognize the company that had that short report on them, but I just heard it in my ear, and I want to give it to you just in case those of you are looking at it. Big Bear AI. Right there. So yeah, there it is. So someone there, Aura Alpha in the chat says it as well. It could be old news. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's not really moving right now. So that's Big Bear AI. All right, Amazon. I'm going to get out again. Oops. See, like my charts didn't change again. I'm going to log out and back into the new software, and I'll update you, Obi, to see how that goes. But 195, maybe if we break the 200 period, we'll just get out. We have such a small piece. I'm actually just going to wait for 194. I'm not going to reload it. Our reload's already done. We've done that numerous times, reloaded positions. And it's that third or fourth time, right? Like on Apple there, that just doesn't hold. You know, like 1, 2, 3, bang. You know, so sometimes it's not worth it to hold it until as we say, into the grave. But, you know, so we'll wait to see Amazon. My stop is still in. I'm just chilling, man. We had a couple decent trades there. So really happy with how this morning went. Could have been better.
Yeah, I mean, definitely could have been better. I could have made
fading
better,
early. Maybe didn't need to do that.
Yeah. Like I said, like I gotta, you know what, to be honest, we were talking about yesterday about like kind of like studying and studying yourself. And now normally don't usually do this, but I'm going to go back and kind of like watch the morning stream and be like, I know I was talking about shorting pops. I know I wanted to get with the sellers when they did step into the market, and I talked about this with Sean in the morning as well. And then I go long, so I want to see like what was I thinking about? What was I speaking about? Did I get a little too distracted? Did I get anchored to the idea of reverting back to 20 there? So I'm gonna look into that. But yeah, it could have definitely been a little bit better, but it's okay. We wait for the next trade. Where is the next trade? That's what I'm looking for. Yep. And I think this market, if you're patient and you wait for it, definitely there's lots of opportunities to go around. I just gotta wait for your playbook to kind of come in and fall into your lap. That's more like it, instead of just trying to trade the noise. That's kind of what We'll be back.
We'll be back. Great show again. You know, trading the noise is the biggest problem. I have that problem. Yesterday, I punched out of those queues when I heard that there was the possible discussion with Trump and Xi. And then we found out from Adair that it was scheduled for 3 months from now.
Yeah.
And then, so the market went up, and then I looked back, and we could have been 300 handles or something in the money if we just had held on to it. So, yeah, man, that's what trading is all about. We want to thank Obi for the honesty today, for sure. And every day, that's what we try to do here on the show. You know, just give it to you the best we can, and I hope you did have a great time with us there, as Amazon's still that dollar and still looking a little bit higher. All right, without any further ado, man, it is the Midday Madness. We're glad to have the man himself back. It's Sharif. You saw him earlier today. You're about to see him now with Joe. So let's go, guys. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That is your boy, Joey Options. And we are hanging out. It's a red Tuesday today, waiting for everyone to come on over from the other stream. We're going to shout everybody